Excellent.
And there's the live.
So, hello. As Adams clearly pointed out, I don't know if you heard it or not, I'm Mr. Burns apparently, but yeah, so, episode
Excellent.
Feeling
Excellent. Yes. Smithers! Smithers! But anyhow, it's episode
I'll come back to
29.
this again, very professional D&D stream.
Yeah, definitely nearly wasn't late because of playing Valheim, honest. But yeah.
Don't elect you.
I say, you see the shit we have to put up with, guys?
I mean, honestly, Froze, if you hadn't have come in, I really wouldn't have fucking noticed. But either way, so it's episode 29 tonight. Last session, the party encountered some visitation during the night, and thankfully it wasn't Jehovah's Witnesses. It was something much, much worse. It was people. Just people.
And we still managed to slash him.
You did. Silak, Varric, and Tamria that you found the names out of after killing one and capturing two. One was eventually set free and told to go and stow away on a ship and kind of like go fuck off. The other one is still knocked out, or was woken up, then re-knocked out, and he's in the ship with you guys still restrained. That's Varric. Silak was the one you freed, and Tamria was the one that was... he didn't get a fucking shot in. Like, he was ruined. Like, it was bad.
That was bad. Yeah, that was terrible for her.
Also, a slip of the tongue from Cass and Evan. And a couple of party members had been suspicious of some of the activities and wordings being used. And it turns out that these two... with quote marks, young humans, definitely not the case, have a lot more to them than it seems. And none of that's been divulged until today. We're carrying on from that evening. It's about a couple hours past midnight. Cass and Evan, you have the floor. As you both opened up last session with your full names, and we're about to start explaining the things that you haven't lied, but omitted truth from your party.
We want to get rid of the wizard first.
Yeah,
Before
get
you
him out of the room.
reveal everything. Yeah.
He's currently knocked out and on the floor, like, and you guys are in.
Let's take him out of the room.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you shove him in another room. Like you put him with King Damascus. There you go.
Go just cast Deafness on him.
Tell King
Bit
to
of soft
smash
shell.
his screen if he wakes up or something.
Can just
Yeah.
cast
Alright.
Deafness on him when he goes out, please?
Well, he's going to be unconscious for at least the next few hours, and then possibly asleep after that. But you can cast blindness, deafness on him if you wish.
Not only last a minute, just realise.
Okay.
Speak quickly.
Okay.
He's taken out of the room. Everyone comes back in.
You want to put your spell down as well.
It's already
Spell's
up.
already down.
It's
still up, okay.
it's been up for about 40 minutes to an hour, so you've got another 7-ish hours, maybe a bit more.
Alright.
It should last. In theory, it'll last until morning. So, for the sake of people watching this episode onwards, do you two wish to reiterate the full names?
So, as a repeat from the end of last session.
I'll start then. My full name is Caspania Matori Dryerton, and I am, or was, the High Priestess of Arndia.
Yeah.
And my name is Eventine Alessadil, and I was the Grand Master of the Order in Arndia. We were the ones in charge. Caspania was the head of church and our government. Well, he was in charge of the country. I was in charge of our armed forces. Cass?
Cass is just watching the rest of the group at the moment, trying to see like what they look like. Is everybody just? Is it computing?
Oh, Persephone's currently sitting on the floor, eating a snack, looking at you inquisitively, thinking, "What the hell is that country? I've never heard of that country before."
Yeah,
I haven't left this.
Boomer would know
say
that.
that you never had
Boomer
that
would
yet
actually.
before.
Boomer would know the country.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would
I would.
have any
I would
memory
probably.
of
I would probably say you've never been, but you definitely know
Yeah.
of it because it has high diplomatic ties with a lot of the local countries because of its nature and leadership style. It's well known, although you haven't been. You don't know much. You just kind of know the very bare bones. Like, oh, it's a country to the northeast of you guys. It actually shares the the mountain that's in the top right of Multisora. It's
Yeah.
actually the other side of the mountain. It shares that mountain.
Would I have recognised the names
Let
initially?
me. Well, hang on. I'll take you to the world map so you can actually see.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be very helpful.
so you guys are currently here in Brial. Here is Andia. Right there, and there's that
Is that
Suki
there?
continent. Yeah. That's Andia, and that's
Ah.
where Cass and Evan are stating they are from.
Because I thought they were originally around this area.
No.
Originally, I didn't realise it was close to home.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. I'm from.
Very close.
Would they got involved within the actual initial war
No.
that Mortal was in? No. So they kept
They
out
they,
of that.
they didn't know. The war that took place basically last campaign for you guys. Andia
Yeah.
had no involvement. Saladas did, because the queen and her family is from Saladas, but that's it.
What about this country here? That had any involvement?
It didn't have any involvement, no, nor do I have a name for it. So the
Oh, yeah.
the actual conflict and stuff that happened in that campaign was with Multisora
Festive.
only, with ally help from Saladas, and that's it.
Right. What the names sprung any memory for Boomer?
Make a history check. That's actually interesting. Yeah, make a history check.
Hmm.
Because it's possible. Again, like you would know the names of the leaderships, but that's it.
Bit
would-
sketchy.
I would say you're unsure. Like, the thing is, foreign leadership and foreign stuff like that isn't exactly your forte. You know,
Yeah.
you know of a country called Andia that was like bordering you guys, but that's about it. You know that they are seemingly nice because you've not exactly heard of going to war with them or them warring with anyone. You don't know what the names of the king, queen, president. You don't know how they're ran. Like it could be government, it could be dictatorship, it could be communism, it could be fascist, democratic, monarchy.
Theocracy.
You
Would I
don't
know the relationship between the two countries?
There's a friendly relationship between Multisora and Andia.
Yeah.
Not, it's not well established, but there's by no means bad blood or no blood.
I guess there'd be like trade routes, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Between the two.
I would say there's definitely passing of trade. There's probably, like, because there's the dwarven settlement that lives in the mountain. They would probably work as, is it Sherpas, the mountain climbers?
Yeah.
Where they'll basically, like, probably go over the mountain to the nearest town in Andia and do trade.
So Brogan would have known a bit about it.
Dawn would have.
Yeah. They probably both would have, fair bit. But they're not here.
That's it.
I'll take you back to the local map now.
No, it's interesting though to know though.
Yeah. So yeah, like so Boomer would probably be like, wait, I know that country.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
Well, I'm
Tell me
going to.
more.
Yeah, well, how the hell did you end up here then? If you're the boss over there.
That's a very long story.
Well, that's fine. We've got time, haven't we, guys?
Well,
What do you mean, well?
I suppose we do. Yes.
Thank you. Nothing else going on, so
I mean, we got somebody knocked out back there.
he's knocked out. Just give him a punch around the head again. He'll be out cold. Don't worry.
Yup.
Okay.
So, how much do you guys know of Armdia to start with?
Well, I know absolutely nothing.
Never heard of it.
I don't know anything either.
But I do want to know now, because you've told us.
Yeah.
Is
Yes, I only know a little bit that you were friends with Motosora.
was terrible business you had to deal with?
Yeah. It's rather interesting when that happened, to say the least.
Good.
But we were preoccupied by other matters at the time.
Be into it.
I'm sorry, Boomer?
Were you interrupted by booming?
Not exactly.
No.
What are you saying then, boy? What, sorry?
Booming.
Booming.
Oh, I thought you said boobies.
Yes, the entire country. No.
Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Cass just hangs her head in her hands and takes a second.
Like pinch the brow of the nose, like.
Yeah. No, there was no booming.
Thankfully.
We. Yeah. No. On the.
I just recall from the Motosora's history of war.
That they boomed.
Michael, you're super quiet for me as well. I don't know if it's the same for any.
I
Yes,
thought it
there was
just
also
me.
booming going on.
We. There was no explosions or anything like that for us. Armdia is the original home of the elves. It's where,
Wait, elves?
yes,
My
Yeah.
race as well? Sea elves?
the
Oh.
elves may have split off from us at some point. We're not too certain. I do believe Cass has been looking into that.
It would have happened maybe in my grandmother's generation, maybe, or earlier than that.
Either way, we
But it is a bit spotty on, other elves. But we know for certain that the elves in Armdia were the first.
Oh.
Danny,
created not
Yes.
would there have been like perhaps a move between countries, obviously, like migration of elves? Motosola?
Well, this is going to be like 2.5
1,000 years
millennia
ago.
ago. Yeah.
You're talking thousands of years ago. I'm not even going to make you roll for it because I don't even think a natural 20 would be enough.
No.
Yeah, you would have no idea.
So, you're saying
I would
that
say
was
you're aware that Arndia is a heavily imbalanced nation compared to most. It does house far more elves, like probably like 70% of the population, I want to say.
Yeah. No, but what I'm on about, would it perhaps some moved over the last 2 years into Motosola, for example?
Not that you know of.
No.
That's not your forte of knowledge.
Yeah.
You're into explosions, not immigration.
Yeah. And it's best to keep those separate.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
So you're saying the elves came from Ardia. So that means were you elves? Because you don't look like elves.
Yes.
Yes.
We were elves.
So how on earth has that happened? Or is that another long story?
We will get
It's
to
part of the long story. I mean, if you really want us to divulge the entire story, might take
I'm
a
going to
little
do a ritual of detect magic then.
Bear in mind, you're in non-detection.
You
Yeah, it won't work in here, mate. Remember?
Ah. Okay.
You are because you guys are under the
Divination.
divination
What?
protection of
Yeah.
non-detection. Yeah.
What are you? About to say, what are you trying to figure out?
I was
What do you
trying to
just
figure
have?
out, is it... Yeah, it's like, is there... Obviously, I've seen you two before. It's like, kind of just find
There's-
something unique,
There's no.
different.
There's no illusion magic.
You know the entire time, like when you've done detect magic in and around them, them as physical people are innate, like non-magical. It's just they have a bit, like Cass herself has divine abilities. You've never noticed anything suspicious, unusual.
Yeah.
And as far as you're aware, you've been with them enough, or someone has, that they're not acting like out of place.
No, something would have pinged up by. Yeah. You have to try.
No, always ask, because
Yeah.
the worst I can say is no.
That's it.
So how come you're human now then, if you used to be elves?
That's what I just asked.
As part of this, no. Let's just start from the beginning. We can get the whole way through.
Would you like me to start, or would you?
You can start. Yours has more interesting details for them.
Okay. So I'll try and start with giving you a better understanding about Armdia. It's a theological country run by the church. When I was, sorry.
What does that mean?
I've got my hand up as well, about to ask the same question.
Ruled by it's religious rule.
Yes.
Oh,
No
okay.
kings. It's ruled by the church.
Also known as a theocracy.
Theocracy. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's usually ruled by the high priestess alongside with her bodyguard, or their bodyguard, I do apologise, and the Grand Master.
So you were in charge of that country.
Uh-huh.
But you're a queen.
Not a queen, no. I mean,
Similar.
I will go into what we call a noble family, but that is more so based on the fact that my ancestors, well, my grandmother, no, not really ancestors, like my great-grandparents were some of the first elves ever after the Gothic Krieg. But I was, if you could say if it was a monarchy, that I would be born into royalty. It's technically correct.
Closest thing we have.
I think from a very young age it was almost decided that I would be the next High Priestess. I showed a connection with Corellon from quite a young age, maybe when I was 30, 40 years old. And by the time that I was 100 and in my naming ceremony, the name Casvania came up. It was almost predetermined destiny that I would take up the realm. Owen's story is slightly different from mine.
Whereas Cass's family was recognised and rewarded for their services during the first war after the Gothic Krieg, mine, whilst remembered have done service, were never treated the same. We were always held back. So, my family have always tried to join the Order to ensure the strength of Armdia. We were never allowed to rise all too high. From a young age, I decided I wouldn't allow that to happen. I would restore our strength and show that we could be respected. We wouldn't be held back by others' politics. Our strength would be held higher. Then,
Which is why I think I disliked you greatly when we first met.
well, that's entirely true. Then again, you weren't exactly the easiest to get along with either.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was meant to rule a country, and you were this cocky little upstart of 140 years old that 40 knew everything. Of course I was going to dislike you instantly. But that's a different story. Over time, we went through the trials together and became almost inseparable.
Like
It's,
lovers.
no.
No.
Touched a nerve there.
No, there is no relationship like that between us. It is.
I mean, there is a bond, but for us it is not romantic.
More professional.
Not really, to be honest.
beyond
It's-
that, beyond friendship, but not romantic.
Just not with benefits.
Friends without benefits.
No, see,
It's hard to explain without going through it yourself.
yeah, it's it is, like Evan says, very difficult to explain. It's almost like we can tell when each other is near a little bit, and
You know what the other is thinking when it's happening.
yes,
You how.
I mean, it's not as strong as it once was since we've been in these new bodies. We don't have that ultimate connection that we once had, but we do now. You know, it's starting to get back, and it's all good. But we are meant to challenge each other. Without Evan, I wouldn't have been able to rule as successful as I did. Without his support and without his incredible tactical knowledge, Armdeal wouldn't have been as safe as it was during our reign.
Her rule kept us safe and prosperous throughout time. Her wisdom guided us when no other option seemed available. He found a way for us. And so we ruled for nearly 500 years.
How long?
500 years.
Oh.
Clearly
don't
something didn't go down well then, if it's only 500 years.
Well,
You do realise that. I'm just going to stop you there. You do realise how old we are, right?
No, well, at this moment in time, you look very young.
Yeah.
You still
We'll
haven't
get
answered.
started in a second.
That's
Yeah.
my point, is that something's
these
happened for you to come here.
These bodies, while they look young by comparison, we are nearly 800 years old.
Slightly younger than that. I mean, I am
Yeah, I
slightly
did say
older.
nearly.
Yeah. I think I'm 23 years older than Evan.
Mhm.
But time gets a bit different when you live for nearly a millennia.
Do be true.
Cool.
But- Sorry?
I was going to carry on then, but
I thought I heard another voice.
I said it
That
do
is
be
that.
true.
But yes, something technically did go wrong. Definitely. When we begin to advance in age in our society, for the High Priestess and the Grandmaster, we start to look for our successors. People who we believe that will be able to take over the country in our stead. You know, we eventually pass on. It is a long and vigorous process, which is why you have, you know, approximately 200 years to get it sorted in. I began to look for somebody who I thought that could rule the church, uphold the values of Corellon and the other gods. I tested many people, but none were right.
none that we ever tested were able to pass the trials. This frustrated and
I mean, we believe it frustrated, it's only theory.
I meant us, not others, but
Oh no, it did frustrate us quite a bit. I mean, at this point, we were beginning to run out of options without a High Priestess and a Grandmaster in place. It is almost like written into our history that if there is ever a time when that happens,
And
Armdia descends into chaos.
But who's doing your jobs now then?
there
Well-
lies the problem.
Yes, this is
So-
where it's... Go on, Evan.
We, through our efforts trying to find successors, we continued and were frustratingly still unable to find them. We took steps. We were thinking of steps to help improve that. Then came the day that Cass woke up with the half moons. And for elves, once we reach 6 months before our demise, we gain a set of half moon cataracts.
Elves don't age in the same way that humans or gnomes or halflings or any of the other species do. We look the same as when we were 20, 30 years old for the rest of our lifespan until the cataracts appear. And when they appeared for me, we needed to speed up our plan a little.
So we took steps to help preserve us beyond the time it needs to be. Commissioned something to help bring us back to our youth and strength if instance need to happen. And it was sent to Breal to keep us, to keep it safe and separate from the rest of the people if needs be. Then one day we were called to a meeting was called.
It was within the main cathedral in the
private-
centre.
in a private,
Sorry?
well, I'd say it was in a private chamber area, in one of our
It
more
was.
holy places.
It is completely strips anybody who enters of magical means. It is a sacred place. We were called to this meeting. Of course, whilst we did rule, we did have, advisors and other individuals that we relied on for knowledge,
To rule and
information.
other aspects of the area.
So it didn't really
Seem unusual.
catch us until, I think for me, the moment when I realised this was, and what I thought it was going to be, was when the first blade descended. And they didn't stop.
They fought, they attacked. Our advisors had turned, all the people we had learned to trust descended upon us with blades that they should not have had in such a chamber.
Weaponry isn't allowed, it's a sacred place.
We tried to fight them off
So-
as best we could, but without our abilities and outnumbered, we fell. And
And
we felt ourselves slipping away, going to the next life.
So there ended up
Horrible.
being a mutiny.
sorry?
So there ended up being a mutiny.
Mutiny's more on a boat. This is a coup, technically.
Hmm. Yeah.
We were, as Evan says, were slipping away when, through our blood, it broke the room essentially, and we transported into one of the vessels that we had procured.
These bodies
Yep.
were meant to be our younger forms. Though
I
it
think
appears-
maybe. Yeah. Go on, Evan.
Though it appears, and as you probably know, I kind of draw my hands from hair at that point to expose my ears. Something went a little wrong with the spell.
I think it might have been all the modified memories that I'd done on him, to be quite honest. I mean, this is only theorizing, because.
You were planning on having elf bodies.
Yes.
This was meant to be our bodies, just 400 years younger.
Hmm.
Ah.
So essentially, they were meant to make clones, but instead, mutation versions.
So we
Yeah.
became humans.
And then a few weeks after that night, when, you know, we transported into a completely new continent and we're back on our own again without our magic as well. Maybe that was some kind of another mistake because we were reduced.
Reduced
To- Yeah. We met you guys in a little tavern.
We were all arrested.
Yep, and that's pretty much. Questions?
Yeah, because that's a lot.
Yeah, Boo was just like, got some match with his jaw wide open.
Greg Tail's probably cross-eyed.
I'm puzzled and inquisitive and intrigued.
Hmm.
That.
So have you managed to get back to Arndia and see what's going on there? Or
We've
No.
managed to receive a few updates. It's not looking
It's
good.
extremely
back.
dangerous to go back right now. If
so
you
who's
can
in
imagine.
charge there now?
We do not know, though it is not. From the sounds of it, it is becoming less likely that it would be the church that is in charge.
Which then leads to problematic.
Oh, vacuum.
The power vacuum already exists, though it sounds like our names have been tarnished in the histories of our people, in the minds of our people.
Which I find quite disturbing, to be honest.
Distressing, yes.
I mean, Armdia was a peaceful nation going through its renaissance when we were in charge. It became a haven, really, for Elvenkind and some other kinds. Like, you know, we had a large halfling population. I made peace treaties with giants, and yet now we are the bad guys because we told a few people no. But apparently, I don't really understand rebellion as much as I thought I did.
What are they after you, though?
As far
I
as
don't
they,
think they know.
They probably assume you're dead, don't they? Or did they know about the backups?
no one knew
Oh,
about the backups.
we ensured that
Even the person.
anybody that assisted us would not remember that they did.
Creepy.
Why do you think she's so good at mind manipulation magic?
Huh? I mean, I'm
So-
not just that. I am. My primary kind of avenue of interest was always linguistics and languages. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
So who back home still knows you're still alive? That
No
you're
one.
receiving updates.
We've not. No one sent us any updates. No information has been. The information that's come to us has come second, third hand.
Yes.
Even the people who have told us don't know that they are telling us the information.
Can I just do an insight check?
You certainly may. What are you
Sure.
trying to insight check?
Just to see if he's not hiding anything else.
Okay.
Well, you've not asked us anything else. Like, you can't do an insight and then be like, are you hiding anything else?
No. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying
Yeah.
to see, have you
No.
told everything without being prompted? Or have you told half the story, but would probably give it up on prompt?
Yeah.
So yeah, go on, roll an insight.
There is insight.
Okay. If the both of you want to roll persuasion rolls, because I was going to say if it was below a 10, I wasn't even going to ask you, but that's a pretty good roll.
Oh yeah. This way there's gonna be 2 1s.
I've got it.
It's-
I've got
Oh, 1 1. Oh. Aww.
Ooh.
One counts as another.
Teamwork.
Evan, you're unsure. Like, you've not really
No.
ever cornered Evan in like too much of a talky moment to gauge too much from that. Cass, from what you can gather, Wall isn't exactly telling everything in the minutest of detail. Is being as
We're
open
being
and
honest.
as honest as she can be.
We're both being honest.
And they both seem of the disposition. They're at a point where, if you ask them, they're probably just gonna tell you because it's probably easier at this point, to be honest.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Right answer.
Okay.
Why you
The
did...
main,
Go on.
I was going to say the main question is any of us in danger?
Oh, more than we're already in.
From our, as long as nobody knows who we are and doesn't pass that information on, no. If this information just stays between us, no problems of our past should come to haunt you.
No assassins coming after you, yeah.
Not for
We'll
anything.
take it as a
Okay, nothing for anything we did before we met you.
Assassins
have-
still may come, but that's a
yeah.
different thing.
From someone else, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I say we've already had assassins here for what we've already done.
Twice.
So, yeah.
So how come you're this far south, and what's your plan?
Well,
What's your plan for the future? Are you trying to get back? Are you still
Yeah.
trying to find these successes?
We're trying to see the find our successes. We think we've already found. Well, we've bumped into a few people we might have thought at some point had potential, have not been able to act further on it.
and I have a theory about why we are here. I mean, we have vessels across the world, and I think it was here because at the end of the day, I mean, technically that is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Why would you spread them around the world?
Why would you not have multiple chances at potentially saving your country from damnation?
you're watching kind of as this is going on. Is Evan is just having this little.
Am I only?
I mean, I can tell like why you're moody, but I don't understand
Hang on.
why, Evan.
Liam, what was that?
Because we'd already said previously that the one thing we weren't going to tell them is that we got more copies.
No. I got mistaken on that. I thought it was we weren't going to tell them how many copies we had.
No, we weren't going to tell them at all how we got extras. That this was all.
It doesn't matter anyway. Ignore
Well,
that.
Am I one of the potential people to take over?
Oh. Just say yes, please.
Put him down gently, please.
It's not as simple as that, dear. It's we need to ensure that people that we choose can go through our rights, and you don't even. You are more of nature, and you are incredibly powerful. But I think there are other things meant for you than this.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Scholar.
Yeah, I was calling him, yeah.
I do think that eventually you will become something different, but I mean,
I mean, I want to say tobacco.
we've only had a couple that we thought maybe. I mean, at first we didn't think. It's difficult to explain.
Just say yes to him, please.
He's already had the kind of you're destined for other things than us. Is what he's been.
Well, I was trying to let him down nicely. I was like, you're up for different things. Like, I wasn't being mean.
I'd say we wish we could pick you, but unfortunately somebody else has chosen something else for you.
Yeah.
I believe that
Ice
you're
cream man.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
I
I don't think
nominate
you're
Boomer.
Again, let's try, but it's a slight difference of how it goes.
Yeah.
Normally,
I mean, technically, we're not middle-aged. I'm actually elderly, if we're going to be completely accurate. With being, what, 700 and something? 700. I'll make up a number because you said we were nearly 800 years old, and I thought it was slightly different. So, 778. There we go. That's my age. I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
778.
Are there any like ships or people and your people around here?
Yes.
There's a few elves and stuff around, but none that you know. The bard that we saw in the tavern the other night, she originally came
I'm going
from
to say. I'm going to interrupt quickly, though, if this is okay. This is a big trust, and we are asking a lot from you guys that you do not reveal who we are. Whether you meet another elf or anybody, you cannot tell them
who we are.
Who are you, gay?
Exactly.
You're not very good at lying, man. If it is that it got out that we were still alive, I don't know what they would do. I mean, like I say, this is all theories because, technically they murdered us, but... Oh, is it murder when you're in assassination? There we go, that's I believe, the correct term of phrase when you're in power.
Still a murder.
They were Julius Caesar.
Yes.
Yeah,
We were.
technically they were Caesared.
Yes.
Danny, that's what I was going to say. But
But we will try to keep it away from you guys as best as possible. We have been trying since we met you.
Successfully, we'd say.
Yeah. I mean, how long have we known each other now? Months? That's not a very long time.
It is for them.
Oh, for us now as well. I mean, I didn't think we'd ever become mayflies, but apparently we did, so...
That's true.
Rude.
Yeah. Accurate. I mean, for you guys compared with what we were before, and this isn't mean to cause offence at all, I have lived 778 years. Technically, the soul has inhabited a body. You guys have gone literally in a blink of an eye, perhaps. It is not to be offensive.
We barely know who you are before we are introduced to your grandchildren.
Pretty much.
That's gonna be weird.
I mean, I do have great-grandchildren which are older than you guys, so...
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
I have a very big family.
Yeah.
So do I.
they mean you had, because you don't know if I'm still alive.
Wow.
Harsh. Bit harsh.
Thanks, Persephone.
Thanks for that.
Well, I'm sorry, but reality's
Hmm?
kicked in, isn't it? If you're taking out the leader, you take out the family. It's just the way it is,
This
isn't
is
it?
something that I have been worried about, if I'm quite honest.
Yeah, this
but
is where
the
you've
only-
now just made them two have an existential crisis just at the realization.
already been doing it. We had a chat about it last session.
Our-
We were talking about it, cast everywhere, but
Our roles and positions aren't exactly hereditary.
it is not familial, really, where our strengths lie.
So,
So it wouldn't just automatically be your son or daughter to take your place.
no.
None of my family are. I mean, you know, none of them really wanted to go into that position. It's not like you say. It's not. It's not like monarchy when it is given to the heir. It is we choose a successor out of everybody on the planet.
Yeah, we
I
find
mean, we did originally think, you know, it was ours, but might not be, which is quite interesting.
we find our successors, and we help them grow into their roles. But
And
Which-
then
which, like you've both said, you've both found and bumped into different people that may not be of interest.
they have potential.
Yeah.
This is something that usually takes 2 centuries to figure out. We are trying to speed up the process considerably, but
still
it's difficult. Yeah. We can't exactly go up to every single person and go, "Oh, would you like to become a ruler of the country?" and then see what they do.
There's almost
Wouldn't
anything,
everyone just say yes anyway?
which is why they normally means we don't want them.
Yes. We
Wait. So if they say no, we can have them?
I was thinking the same thing.
Bit more to it than that,
fucking
but they're on the right.
I
They're on the
love
right path. If
I
they're
love
not,
Deer so much.
if they're more cautious,
do
and going
wants
to
to
need
rule a country, and it's honestly my favourite bit about what's going on right now.
the problem,
No,
problem is
I
the
can
fact
just-
that he wants it.
I can imagine like Deer sat on a throne with like an oversized crown and like the big like the royal cape where it's like the white fluffy edges. Like I can just imagine like all of the clothes like 4 sizes too big for him, and he's just sat on this throne that's
Yeah.
obviously too big
Crown
for him.
keeps slipping off.
Just like I'm the king. Yes.
Obviously, down,
That's the first command.
down. The only thing
Co-
that's
co-
falling off is the tabaxi ears that are
Command
just slightly.
commands his armies far and wide. Bring me an ice golem.
That's what I was about to say.
Make me ice cream.
Fuck me. Deer as a leader would be interesting.
It'd be scary.
I think it destroy a country in minutes.
You destroy the world in seconds.
It's not that easy. It's
A very long process, which
and we each look for different things in who's going to be our successor. For me, it is how people interact with others, a lot of it is, and whether they can essentially have somebody else in their head, because it is a dual rulership. You will rule with somebody else, and it's not king and consort or king and queen as what you guys are usually used to, or clan and chief and his partner. It is 2 individuals, essentially. You are your own separate selves and part of the bigger whole as well. So
Which Boomer you would have some understanding of that, considering the bi-monarchy of Multisora with the 2 ruling brothers.
Yeah, similarities.
So you would be able to draw comparisons enough where it's like, no, yeah, that's basically that, but not king. They're not kings, and it's the theocracy side they've explained to you. Whereas
Yeah.
Multisora, it's 2 kings.
so
You can take an oath on the
let's say-
previous one.
Okay, so so His Majesty popped his plugs again. Has he?
Well, he would have retired at some point.
He was declared. He
You've got
declared that he was going to do that, didn't he?
Yeah, the whole he was when he died early, before the campaign started. He was in his late 40s. He would have stepped down. He's alive, but he's no longer the ruling monarch.
I mean, isn't he now more like in his
He'd be in his
60s or 70s?
70s, yeah.
I thought it'd only been 15 years since the end of
The-
campaign 1.
I
No,
thought it was 30.
it's been about 20 because to make Layla the appropriate age,
Yeah.
that it was based off that.
Ah.
Yeah. So no, he's going to be in his mid 70s, and the 2 brothers are going to be late 30s, early 40s.
So, yes.
That's us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to move forward. How's my servant doing? Tracking down that.
Right with the main plot.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to ask questions after this point, it's no go. So
how do
go for it.
you communicate with the homunculus? Is it telepathy, or do you see through it like familiar?
Whose fantasy commands? Reading it now. Don't say.
I'll rule it
He
like
just give orders and he...
I'll rule it like familiar.
Yeah,
I'll rule it
basic
like familiar.
commands.
Yeah, I'll rule it like it's a familiar then. So until it comes back, you won't know. You're gonna have to trust in the fact that Greytail had a good hunch. Because don't forget as well, apart from his weapons, you didn't take anything off him. And I want to point out as well that the cleric you left in the other room unconscious is fully equipped with all his weapons and armor, bar his holy symbol.
I'll focus. Yeah.
That's you did take that, and he's gagged, he's bound, but you didn't take anything bar the holy symbol off him. Just want to remind you. And the other guy, and the book, but bar the weapons on Silak, you didn't take anything off him.
Yeah.
Should we go and resolve that problem? Just one last thing. Just call us Cass and Evan, please. It's the best way.
I can't pronounce your full name anyway, so Cass and Evan it is.
I was gonna say this is gonna get to a point where they start bearing at you like, "My queen, hello."
It's dead easy to pronounce our names, but I'm not going to teach you because, you know,
We don't want
it's technically Elvish. I mean, technically would our Tabaxi, who knows how to speak Elven, understand what their names mean? Technically.
I mean,
Yeah, I would. If you can speak Elven, then yeah.
I can speak Elvish, yeah.
So then, yeah, you would understand the meaning behind the names, as most Elven names typically. It's not just a name for name's sake; they are meaning.
I speak Elf.
Yeah.
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 I'd be concerned if the elf didn't speak elf. I would be-
Exactly. Just a different dialect of it. It means the same thing, though.
It's the difference between Australian and American. Both English,
Exactly.
but speaks very differently.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it would be quite interesting actually to get your viewpoint, Persephone, on a lot of things, seeing as you've grown up in a different elven culture than what we have.
Under the sea.
Pick your brains a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, that is also why we are quite protective of you. Well, I am anyway, because technically, to me, you are a baby.
A baby. I'm fed up of people telling me I'm a baby.
No. To us, I am 778 years old. To me, you are a baby.
I'm going to look away and I'm looking very stroppy. I am not a baby.
You do not have the money, sir. I would like to get your opinion on a few things, but we'll talk about this another time once we have dealt with our little problem in the other room.
I'm still not a baby.
You're not.
There you go, his bottle.
Let's not provoke from whatsoever. All we'll just say
Yes,
is.
please don't provoke the water stab monkey, please.
All we'll say is, to our traditions, you are not classed as an adult yet.
Until you go for the naming ceremony. At 100 years old, we believe anybody to be younger than that as, for all intents and purposes, a child. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a baby, though.
No.
Fine then. You're technically not a baby, as in you're not just come out of the womb, but you are very young.
Let's just stick with the word child. I think baby
Child.
is the word.
Yep.
I think the word
Just say
baby is the
stroppy
problem.
teenager.
Let's not get provoking.
Yeah. If we got into like when we believe someone enters into like a teenager or young adult, it's going to get very messy very quickly.
Just leave it at that. Now we've got our part of that situation across. So what are we doing about our friend that tried to kidnap us? Are we killing him? Or
just
we
want
turning him
to
over?
just want to correct you. He didn't try to kidnap you. He tried to forcefully relocate your living situation.
Abbreviated to kidnap.
Kidnapping.
Like,
Same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Actual definition of kidnapping.
Danny, pull that thesaurus back out of your arse and throw it away. Just use the simple words.
oh my god, it's like he has an enlarged aorta.
Look, he did never try to kidnap you. Just saying. But carry on. Carry on. Carry on.
Never mind, moving on.
Okay, forced abduction, whatever.
Okay, without our consent, I might add, because I don't remember about anyone else, but I wasn't shouting at the top of my lungs. Please, somebody,
That's why.
kidnap me! I'm a damsel in distress. Ah.
Okay, now that we've finished mocking the words of the sky,
That was more out of character.
I
I'm
know.
more than aware.
Do we kill him?
I mean-
Do we try and find someone that we can trust to hand him over to? What do we do then? Do we go and deal with these slavers ourselves, or again, do we try and find allies?
I think this comes back to what we were discussing prior to.
A little sidestep into our history.
Yes, exactly. From what I remember when we were in charge, we've got to be very careful, because if we give them up to the lords and ladies and then they're just like, oh yes, we're involved as well, and pop them back in power, it's all for naught, and then we have more. I'm trying to remember targets. That's the word, targets on our back. And trust me, people stabbing you in the back ain't very nice. So,
Why we need to try and see if even if we decide to just kill him now, it still leads us to the case of what do we do then?
I think though, if we kill him now, we are deciding to be judge, jury, and executioner, and people who tend to do that aren't great people. I mean, I know we said that we were never
Yeah,
heroes. Technically, we were rulers, but that's a different story.
Yeah, but rulers are not heroes.
No, and I mean, both of us have made the decision to.
Yeah. Harsh decisions are harsh decisions. Now, we have the options. They tried to attack us. He either died trying to attack us, and one of them got away. Or, we killed one got away, and we were able to bring the third in to try and bring him to try and get some justice here. Now, if we continue to go back and forwards on whether or not we can even trust the Lord here, we're having...
That's going to become very complex, though. Corruption in rulership is usually a difficult situation to manage anyway.
That's why we need to try and see if we can find people who know.
Another option would be that if we were to hand him into the guards, that we ensure that a rumour gains enough traction throughout the city that they have no choice but to have a public display to assert dominance again, to ensure the public that this slaving problem is being dealt with. If enough people talk about it, enough people will automatically believe it.
Well, the more we talk about it, the more the group knows about it themselves and is able to set up a frame-up job in the meantime. They'll find someone, the phrase, patsy, I believe, someone to take the fall for them whilst they slink away into the shadows.
Yeah, I'd say it's
And
probably.
they will probably choose us as well as you not choose the people that are the ones that got away.
I would say it's probably at this point the homunculus returns after following Silak. and would report to you, Boomer, that he followed him down the pier where he kind of he paced around a lot for a short while and kind of seemed unsure of what to do. Then started investigating a number of ships before speaking to a ship hand on one ship and went on board, and then after that he's come to report to you.
Nice.
You don't know, he doesn't, the homunculus doesn't know what was said or
Yeah.
what's gone on the ship. He's come to tell you.
Would we know the name of the ship?
Or could he at least point it out when we
Yeah.
went past it?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
pointed out. Doesn't know the name.
Yeah.
So he's gonna not
Seems our
board a
little
ship.
friend has found one.
He seems to have found somewhere safe then.
Hmm.
That's good. Right.
What do the rest of you think? Should we
11.
kill him here? Or take him to the guards?
I thought about putting him on that island was a good idea.
Exile is
That's-
usually the way.
I
Feeling
still
good trouble.
think give him to the guards. Well, if he just ends up getting released, we know that the guards are corrupt as well.
We don't
If
want
we hand him in and keep an eye out, but then
The only problem is if he gets released, what's to stop him from saying, "Oh, I revealed everything to this bunch of people that are currently sitting in the dock"?
he has every intention, or he has already admitted to he has every intention that if we release him and let him go, he will come back with another group to try and take us. The fact that we have managed to avoid this slave group has painted the target on our back. They will come to try and take us because we have proved that we are strong.
yeah,
All we have done by beating them here is revealed that we
Played.
are. Yeah. All we have done is given an impressive show that yes, we are dangerous, we are more valuable to them, and we've presented that we are a danger that we now know of them.
Do we have anything here in this city that we need to take care of? Any outstanding quests? Anybody that wants to talk to anybody? Specifically, is there some place that we've got to go for any of us, for any reason?
Just a church or grey or a tower.
I think Gray's
That's a
already.
little bit lower down on
Right.
I think Gray's already climbed all of the towers, all the churches here, haven't you?
one of them.
All but one.
I can do that anytime. Didn't you say that you could make people forget?
That was before, not anymore. Not right now.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Well, this is part of my problem is I'm not at my usual strength as what I used to be.
As you can see, with more side effects of us not being who we were.
Hmm.
I mean, Evan used to command an army and literally stand on the front line and people would run away in terror. I
And
could
they-
raise people
Yeah.
back from the dead with a snap of my fingers.
That and I used to fight with a rapier.
Oh god, I keep forgetting that you used to be a little bit more
Nimble.
dexterous. Oh, so did I. Being a human's like really hard as well. Like, there's all. Not that any of you would know because you're not humans. But there's lots of emotions going around and quite a lot of, like, feelings.
It's a lot more
Elves don't
intense.
have feelings.
We do, just not as intense.
Yeah, it's quieter. Like, we experience all the same emotions like you would do, but because we were for so long, it is kind of a little bit calmer. And yeah, and if you think about it, we are, due to our magical ability to not age, we have plenty of time to get over things, so we don't tend to get in arguments and scraps very often. It just kind of vanishes. Which is why it was so unusual that I hated his guts when we first met.
well.
I don't anymore. Best person here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, heaven.
Yeah. We took a while to get used to one another.
I know, but I've been in his head so many times now. Like, I know it like it's the back of my hand.
Well, I'll get over him.
They do. Every night.
We do. Technically, you're in it right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the point. You are in Cass and Evan's room right now doing all this.
Like we said, there is no romantic attraction between the two of us. There is no sibling energy. We are not married. We are the very best of friends, but more than that, but with no...
Extra.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
So,
We've got a big problem. I really don't want to kill this. I think technically killing him before he gets into town is the best option, and then running for the hills. It is the most logical options. But whilst I never said we were heroes, I don't think do we really want to go down the bad guy route?
Yes.
No. It's not bad, but
There we
it's
go.
not seen as the most brilliant of things, but we don't know who we can trust. We have to make a decision. Either we can continue morally aggravating ourselves, or we can just make a decision. Do we try and find someone we can trust? Or do we try and find somebody who says we can trust this person? And then try and maneuver from there? Or do we take on the situation by ourselves and ask forgiveness later?
What about the exile idea?
It's
I mean, let's
easier,
pop it on the table.
it's easier to ask
Yeah.
for forgiveness than it is permission.
Seek forgiveness, then ask permission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's just do what we got to
Yeah.
do.
The exile,
Imparts
the
wisdom.
exile idea is essentially we just kill him, but we make it slow.
Oof. Can I impart a little bit of something that my grandmother used to say? Just
Sure.
as a... If you begin to forgive things that you do and put logic into a decision that you make by deciding that it is the right thing because of reasons, eventually you will think that you are a hero for the wrong reasons. And villains tend to believe that they are the hero of the story.
No one thinks they're the bad guy.
Exactly, as soon as, other than good people, if you question if you're a bad guy, that tends to make you thinking about what you're about to do.
I've kind of always been
But I genuinely think that as soon as, if we are going to release him back in, we need to leave immediately. We cannot take this on again.
Oh,
Well, then what's stopping this person seeking more assistance and coming back for us in the future?
They're going to do that anyway.
So, exactly. So let's just get rid of him now. And then
Thanks.
we haven't got to worry about him seeking us after with a bigger group.
hmm It's then what do we do about the slavers afterwards? So are you saying we just leave it and go? By the sounds of it, they've got their group. They are ready for their next market right now.
Well, that's
But are
fine.
you ready
That's-
to take on hundreds of people?
Sorry,
You know
what?
what? We've got a ship here that is a bit hungry. Let's feed into the ship. We haven't got to dispose of the body then. And then let's take on the slavers.
I would prefer us not to have to feed.
Yeah, don't
Any
make
of it.
don't make
Yeah,
don't
it's not
don't
getting-
make Derek man hungry because
let's-
that's going to
yeah,
cause
let's not-
more
let's
issues
not
than
give
you
the-
ever
let's-
could think.
Yeah, let's not give any of the mimics the taste for flesh.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
kill
that's
him.
going to create so many issues.
Throw some rocks around his neck. Throw him overboard. He ain't going to get up from that for a long time. Let him just rot away, and then
Well,
we
somebody
can
who's
take him.
actually experienced death, it's dead easy to bring somebody back.
It's
Oh,
why I believe
on their
Persephone.
body.
Yeah, that's why Persephone was saying get rid of the body.
If we don't dispose of this person now, he will come after us with a bigger group.
then we give him a fighting chance.
And then that's the find an island in the middle of nowhere, dump him on it then. But then,
No,
Exactly.
I was thinking
but then we'll
if
miss
we are
the
going to
potentially
kill
miss the
him,
market.
we have the potential to kill us.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Technically acting in self-defense, rather than slitting his throat on the boat.
We're damned if
Still
we do, we're
unbelievable.
damned if we don't.
Say
Pretty
one of the-
much.
But yeah, well, we need to find one of the three options. Do we cast him aside and let him become an enemy for a later day? Do we kill him now to provide us, well, to make sure that the best enemy is a dead enemy? Or do we try and find allies in town and deal with it that way?
There isn't any allies.
We need
That
one,
leaves no one to
God.
trust issues.
which is why I can say, if we don't, so far, all we
Oh my god! Okay. What if we take him down to the Skjalls? We're on a boat, we can go back, we trust them, right?
uh-huh.
But then don't we miss the Slivers market that you want to interrupt?
Well, no, then we talk to the Skjalls about it, people that we have developed a relationship with, and then we have more people on our side. I'm sorry, are you guys all planning to take on hundreds of people potentially? Or at least a couple of dozen?
I believe that's what the plan was.
I'm just suggesting, like, we're in the same situation as we were in Helvetica, right? So we need to go about this smarter rather than rushing in all guns blazing. Not that I'm going to suggest that that was your plan at all, because I know it wasn't, Evan. I know it would be more complex.
I also like to point out the fact that we are doing the exact same thing we did in Helvetica here, of seeing a problem and going, that looks too much to us, let's go away. But if we were to go
Okay,
to
then.
well, if we do, as you say, we go to the Skjalls, and the Skjalls ask us, why didn't we bring it to their cousins or whoever's attention here?
It would be a logical thing, though, right? I mean, for argument's sake,
So you want to go to somebody that we trust and say, hey, we found this. They ask, why didn't you do that? And we think, oh, we think they're in on it.
wait.
Yeah, because you're on about the Varalister Skjalls is the leading clan
Lords.
here.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's still the
We
Skjalls.
have no evidence that they are in on it.
Yeah.
No, but didn't we have... Oh my god, there was something we overheard in a meeting room. It's going back a while, and I didn't write it down, because I'm an idiot.
What in a meeting room, when, where?
We're in the Skjalls, and we were collecting money.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was this town or another town, but they were talking about something along them kind of lines. I mean, technically, we were the ones who found out that Helvetica, which has now also been wiped off the map, had a problem. Yes, we could have interjected, but... I mean, okay, so if we are going to take on the slavers market,
Yeah.
can we come up with a better plan than just we're going to rush in? Because...
Just to remind people of the situation she's on about, it was when you was with Joseph and you went up. This is like going back to the start, where when you essentially guys were counting the chest that was given to you as payment. Cass is on
I
about.
thought there was something going on, wasn't there, that
Yeah,
we
no.
overheard.
There was. They were discussing stuff, and with your stupid perception, you did pick up bits of it.
Can you roll a history check to see if you
Yeah, can I
remember what you said?
roll a history to see if I can remember any of that, please? Please don't roll it on my memory. That was a year ago.
Go on then.
Thank you, Danny.
Okay.
18.
You don't remember the details because it was a while ago, but what you heard wasn't massively detailed neither. You remember overhearing a disagreement with the allocation of personnel to a location you don't know. The simple argument was because you heard Brunhilde's response. You didn't hear the request. You heard that Brunhilde was reluctant to send any warriors to a place because she felt that it wasn't needed and they should be able to deal with it themselves.
Do I remember any names or anything to go by?
No, because you only heard her response because she got a bit antsy and like made it a bit more pronounced. Because don't forget, you were in the main hall. Their meeting table was like up steps on like the long table, and you guys were like the other end of the hall at like think Hogwarts. You know the long tables. There was like those, and you were like the one end of the opposite end, and they were like on the teachers' tables, like on a platform.
Yeah.
To the Brielle map for me for a second, Danny.
Say that again.
Could you take us back to the Brielle map? Cass will pull out the map that she's got, and she's remembered this and started talking to herself, saying the exact words that Danny's just said.
Yeah, like you'll kind of be like, yeah, she said that she didn't want to send people like somewhere or something.
Mhm. I mean, it could be Helvetica, because at the end of the day, they've had an issue and they were unwilling to send soldiers, so it could have been when this infiltration was happening. Dunbrass we've already visited, Scialfar we've already visited, Theodomor's the main city, which will leave Helvetica, Colossal Tega, and
Brew Biden.
the one at the top that I'm not going to even try to pronounce.
Brew Biden.
Biden?
Brew
Brew
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah.
Brew Biden.
There you go.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you, Greytail? You lived in Theodomor.
Does it?
Make a history check, but I'm going to say with disadvantage. Oh, Dragonsman's not going to be happy. He's been dying for a Shinx to appear in my chat, and there's a Luxray.
Oh no, such a shame. Dude, that getting.
I only remember 151 the first set of Pokemon, so I have no idea what these ones are.
It's an electric cat, essentially. But it's black and blue. Looks pretty cool.
Mm.
It's
Hey.
like Gen 2 or 3. But, okay.
4.
4. See, even them, they all mush together for me after a point.
Not
You
for me.
don't know too much, because at the end of the day, that sort of like information rarely ever reaches you.
Not my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen a number of very small issues, but only ever in Theodomor, where like there's usually like a rowdy group of people that start like smashing up local property and stuff, and like some local warriors and clansmen will calm down and deal with it, quote marks. But
I was probably too busy looting.
yeah, you would have probably have been like they
Take
smashed.
advantage of the situation.
Well, no,
Yeah,
that'd probably
yeah.
be it. The dickheads had
Nice.
smashed the shop. The clansmen had come and like take them round the back to teach them some respect, and then take them to the local jailers. But before the situation was fully resolved, you'd probably like take a pocket full of like something from whatever
Yeah.
was broken. Yeah. You've not ever seen anything on a large scale, issue-wise, other than the shit you've dealt with like since meeting these people.
Mm.
If it is
Yeah.
that it was in Colossal Taiga that they were sending them, it would still mean that there is potentially some corruption. But it was, I don't remember names. That's the problem. And it could mean that there isn't corruption in like the high end area.
Mm.
I could send a message.
You could send a message to them.
If this group is paying people off, they're not going to be paying off the people in charge. It's going to be god level. So we're probably
they
alright
maybe
looking to the.
bought things, right? I understand though what you guys are getting at. I do actually think that Evan's point earlier was quite a good one, which is it wouldn't go too far out the chain.
Yeah.
But you're right.
We talk to the y'all here.
I mean, who's going to believe us though at the end of the day?
Why don't we have this one and truth spells? Well, attempt to, well, force you to at least not lie spells.
I know what I would do though if I got into that situation.
There we go. I just muted myself in
Refuse to
Discord, so
answer.
I don't interrupt those guys. But thank you, Annabelle, so much.
Oh,
Which then
Really
does
good
actually show that there is some kind of
Massively
Yeah,
appreciate it.
potential.
that's the
Beautiful.
thing. Refusing to answer when
Now I'll
you're
unmute,
under thing
not
that
overtalk
tells
these.
truth. That just
If
shows
I'm
that you're
towards one
guilty and refuse to answer.
If I was in that situation, I would ensure that if I ever got, captured, I would have something that could remove me as a problem. Is he still alive, Boomer? Your homunculus. As in, what spies would do back home with the old poison pellet thing.
The homunculus come back and reported.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he said.
The homunculus said the one that we let go got on a ship and hid.
He had a bit of a meltdown on the dock, didn't know what to do. Spoke to a worker on one of the ships, and then he got invited on board.
The one that's in the other room. I just want to make sure he hasn't died or choked on his tongue.
Oh,
Well,
We haven't checked yet.
you haven't checked. And
do we
as
wanna go
Damascus hasn't shouted.
He hasn't escaped.
Yeah, but if you don't wake up, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're still. Someone else needs. I mean, I can technically get up. I don't need to stay in this. I'll be back in a minute. I'll go check on the guy just to make sure he's not dead.
Yeah.
Should we all go?
Yeah.
Yes.
As well.
You all go. You all open the door. The man lies there still on the floor, but breathing.
Okay.
We will go and
I'm
overtake
going to-
the weapons off him.
Yeah, and check for poisons. Anything that's going to essentially allow him to take care of a problem.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Roll
Don't go to-
roll an investigation check.
I will assist.
Certainly.
Oh, with advantage, or are you rolling yourself?
No, I will assist. Grant you advantage.
Thank you. 25.
Nice.
Nice. You do actually find 2 or 3 vials on the inside of his breastplate. Because bear in mind, this guy is wearing plate armor. Like, he was not fucking around. And on the inside of his
Please take that
breastplate...
plate armor off him, please.
Yeah, it's dwarven sized, but yeah.
We can get it reshaped though, copied by a blacksmith.
Possible.
It'll take a bit of stretching if you want to get it reshaped to anything.
More armor for Boomer's cannon.
But you find 3 vials of poison. You gather his weapons, which he had just a simple war mace and a dagger. You
I'm going
also,
to put the poison in. Can I put these in your bag of holding, Evan?
Yep.
Thank you.
you
I
also,
was going to have him.
you also come across a small pouch on the underside of his plate, on his leg greaves, like up against his hip. You find a small pouch that's been like pressed against him. You find a small sack, and inside of it is probably about 2 or 3 sizes the size of a credit card, like almost, but it's about a 1/4 inch thick, and it looks and feels like a really hard cracker, but it's like one big solid thing. Like, them old, like the old like ration crackers, like they're like bricks that are probably not nice to eat either way.
Yeah, hard tech.
That thing.
Shit biscuits. Yeah.
But like I
Oh,
said,
it's not
but this is on its own, and it's quite big, and it's like right up against his leg plate and stuff, and it's like really, really well hidden. Like you only managed to find it at the end.
Quickly pull out the my pearl, and I'm going to cast Identify. Quickly, I'm not going to ritual it. I'm just going to cast
It's
it. See what it might be.
it's non-magical.
Okay. Can I
Is it
smell
like
it?
dark food?
Yeah, it smells disgusting. It smells like it would be edible, but by certainly means not pleasant.
Have we got a bin?
Actually,
Hang on.
make a flat intelligence check.
Okay. Is that me or
You, because you're the one fucking about with it.
20?
Feels a lot denser than it should be, and a bit like weighty for biscuity, tacky bollocks.
I'm going to. Can I borrow someone's knife just for a second?
I have a small knife.
Very
Yeah,
gently, like, very, very gently. Can I kind of like break a bit of it off to try and see if there is anything inside this brick?
You take the knife and kind of like slice the end of it. Like, hopefully, if there's something inside, like you'll open the pocket.
Yeah,
sort of
like an
thing.
angle, so I'm,
Yeah,
trying,
yeah,
not,
yeah.
I'm trying to reveal something rather than trying to cut that thing off.
Yeah. No. What you do is you break the outer layer, and the inside's a bit slightly softer, but barely. And you do notice that wrapped in a very small and thin, pliable piece of metal, there's like a small, like metal wrapped package inside of this, like tucked in, like as if someone's cut it open, pushed it in, and then sealed it and like baked it and stuff.
Smuggling drugs.
Wait.
It's really wide and thin. It takes up the entire length of it. It's not like a. It's very thin, like paper thin.
Okay, I'm going to very gently. Oh, I've still got gloves. I'm going to put my gloves on and try to pull it out very, very gently and carefully. Like, just trying to pull it out.
Yeah. I would say as you do, though, some of the outer layers do crack and break, and as you kind of pull it out, it breaks away, and like you're left with.
I'm going to try and catch the stuff though, the brick of crap.
Basically, it's basically.
It's really nasty ration food.
It's just to hide whatever was inside.
It's
basically-
like the hacksaw in a cake thing.
I was thinking
Yeah,
more.
cool.
I was thinking more. Yeah, there's that. I was thinking more on the lines as you're pulling this thing apart. It's falling apart like a sausage roll.
Yeah, no, that. But
Yeah.
It's like trying to pull the sausage out of a sausage roll. Like the pastry's just falling apart, and you have this, and it's tinfoil adjacent, but it's a lot thicker, and this thing has been, whatever's inside of this metal has been forged around it, but it's thin enough that with a decent strength you could pry it open, but it's going to take some strength. And essentially you've got this almost paper thin, like the equivalent of about 5 or 6 thick sheets of paper thick, piece of metal with assumingly something inside.
Okay.
Evan?
So, is there any kind of seam or something?
Yeah, no, you can see where like some of the metal's folded over. It's not been like fully forged shut. It's like been folded and ball peen hammered shut and sealed that way. So it can
act as like a mini crowbar, maybe
That's
to give it
exactly
some.
what I was just about to do. Just try and slot a knife into it and start kind of just trying to pry it.
Make a strength check as you just try and pry it open. And I'll give you advantage because you're using something as leverage. It's not terribly difficult, but it's difficult.
So just a strength.
With advantage, yeah, but flat strength. I'm not going to say it fails because
It takes time.
It's the amount of time it takes. It's going to take considerably longer than you would like, but you are able to eventually pry it open to a point where... And what you see is you see 3 separate sheets of paper. I'm assuming you slide them out. Because you get it to a point where you can slide them out with no resistance. You're not going to risk like ripping them or anything.
Yep.
One's completely blank.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
I'm going to take us back into the other room,
Yeah,
into the
that's-
non-section.
Good
inside the
shout.
non-detect.
Good shout. One is completely blank, but looks a different type of paper to the other 2. The other 2 look identical in terms of the type of paper used, but the one that's different is blank entirely. The other one is essentially it's 2 pages of instructions and methodology on infiltration and assassination of a person's name you don't know.
What name?
You see the name as Alexandra. So these documentate. It's essentially the mission parameters that this man was on was to find this Alexandra and kill her.
I've heard that
what's
name.
this
It might
thing?
just be a common name, but
But
You
yeah,
can remember.
and given the level of complexity and amount of like, this was very clear that he didn't want anyone to find this.
So what is the details as he's going through? And I hand
Yeah.
the other piece of paper over to either Boomer or Cass, one of the two. Try and see what that is.
Right.
Is this
Now-
the black piece?
Yes,
The
the
black
blank
piece
piece
of
of
paper.
paper.
Yes.
Again.
Before you start doing like strange things on it, just hold it up to her eye.
Okay.
That usually reveals
Yeah.
secrets.
Hmm.
We'll do that first then.
Yeah. You see, from what you can gather, this cleric is actually not the symbols on his outer clothing don't match what's said in this ledger. He's apparently a cleric of Tyr, which you would all eventually the god
God
of.
is the god of justice.
Mm-hmm.
I have
This
a paladin in the other campaign who is paladin of Tyr.
Yeah. It seems that this man has taken up an alter ego. You don't know his... It doesn't mention his actual name, but apparently... and you can actually see details of the full name, Varric, and things like this. Varric's not a real person. Like, this essentially... There's details on a character that this man is playing, and the person that you've been interacting with is almost... From what you've discussed with him and stuff, the personality, the characteristics, the certain ways he speaks, matches what he essentially has been told to do.
Oh, great. We ended up fighting Fantasy Ethan Hunt then.
Who?
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
We already
is that
knew he was
Mission,
a hot.
is that Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've never
literally,
watched you.
it's- Oh, for fucking sake.
Have I done it again?
By the sounds of it, yes.
Shit.
If
But
I
he,
go in there and give his face a good tug, is a mask gonna come off?
probably not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
Hang on, let's Scooby Doo now.
But no,
I know.
he's from a small sect, under the tutelage of Tyr, and for reasons you don't know, it's not detailed. The most of this is taken up by the name of the person and vague details, which I'll get to in a second, of the person that they're going to find, and the character and key information. So, like, if they were questioned, they could like have answers of like, "Oh, I'm from here. I was born then." You know what I mean?
I'm
The-
kind of glad we didn't kill him now.
Good,
Yeah.
good chance, good spot.
The
Somebody-
the female that he's sent to kill is tiefling, female, age unknown, pale red skin, golden eyes. Details other than that is relatively scarce.
So am I right in guessing? I mean, you can differ me from it. You've basically been told to have this persona, the one that we
Pretty much.
interacted
Yeah.
with.
He is
Pretty much,
he has
yeah.
been sent to infiltrate
And-
the slave group.
And basically all the notes were then forge folded in this metal, then baked into rations. So it's there if
I
he
think that's
needs it.
pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
It was there all the time. It was there last session.
Mhm.
But this what do you think I pointed out? You guys haven't looted the people.
Yeah, that's why we're. Yeah, that's the other
Well.
thing is we're pointing over the investigation. As I'm reading
Yeah,
this, it's also like somebody make sure that one hasn't got one of these as well. To the dead
Oh, the
body
other,
over.
with the body.
Yeah,
I'll
the
go
body
look
over
for
the
that.
side.
Roll
Uh,
a investigation check.
Can
With
someone come
advantage,
out?
because we- about the
I will
advantage,
assist.
you know,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
in fact,
oh,
somebody-
I was
Advantage, no
I was going to
different.
give advantage anyway because you're kind of
you
you've
know what you're looking for.
yeah
I know what.
yeah. No,
22.
the other one doesn't.
No.
Like Tamriel doesn't have one. You don't know whether Silak did, but this cleric is the only one that does.
Can I look at his holy symbol that I nabbed off him? That he seemed to be. When we were in the battle, was he using this holy symbol in the same way that I used my holy symbol, or was it like he
Don't
was
think
also touching something
I
else?
don't think he even got a chance to use it, but
No, he didn't.
during the combat he was holding his mace
Sorry
and
about that.
his mace
No.
and the holy symbol. The only
No,
holy symbol
no,
that he had
No,
is
he wasn't. He was holding the book and the holy symbol.
Yeah.
He was
yes.
not wielding
Oh
the mace.
no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. He had the book and the holy symbol, but the holy symbol did have a slight hue and a glow to it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that this is a symbol of Bane. This could be a symbol of Tyr hidden in a symbol of Bane.
It's possible.
Well, that's what we need to look for. But
But yeah, his clothing and stuff is of Bane, but according to what you've found here, this man is a cleric of Tyr. And again, like I said, his true name isn't mentioned at all. The only things that are mentioned is descriptive details of his target, quote-unquote, and the character / persona he is to play, which is Varric.
does it mention you any way that? So you say that it mentions how he needs to act. Does it use words such as you need to act aggressive or mean-spirited or anything along those kind of lines?
All that information.
He's to play the part of an underground criminal and has details and backstory of, essentially, this is like you found someone D&D backstory sheet where it explains how he was brought up by an organised crime group that was then killed and disbanded. He was one of the survivors and was picked up by a couple of other people who plied his trade in Dusselval. Okay, Fluff. Okay, thank you, baby.
No, you said that. You mentioned that it told him to be like, you need to say this, this, this. The
No,
only reason I'm asking for like specific
yeah,
wording,
he's
like
he's to
would
act.
mean that he was acting like a bad guy. Then he is a bad guy who was consuming another bad guy's position.
Oh no, he's being told to fully go and play the part of a organised criminal person.
You have a thing in front of you that says pretend to be a bad guy, and you're looking for. Does it say pretend to be a bad guy?
No, it's what I'm specifically asking for, because it could be that he is still a spy. He's technically a criminal in the same portion. I was looking for wording specifically that was like.
What type of specific wording are you looking for?
It's fine. It doesn't really matter too much. I was trying to ascertain from this paper whether he was playing a personality, or whether that was his actual personality.
Well,
he's playing a part.
Well,
he's most definitely playing a part.
The only thing that you can gather from this is, if you take this paper as truth, he is a servant of Tyr who is sent to end the life of a person called Alexandra. There is a description, and then there is details of a characteristic type, key information about him, assuming that that would be an attempt of a cover character or an alias.
What city were we in where we met those people of Tyr? I want to say because I swear that the
you've got to remember, Tyr is one of the three main gods of the world as well. So it's one of them because Helm, Torm, and Tyr are the three.
The one that brought Greytail back, he was a servant of Tyr, wasn't he?
When he brought Greytail back, remind me because my mind's going a bit fuzzy.
Remember when Greytail died?
No, that was that?
I think that was a Helm.
Was that a Helm?
Torm.
I know we've interacted with.
That was Torm, because that was the self-sacrifice gods. That was Torm, because Torm, Helm, and Tyr are they were the three
good
heroes of the Krieg, and have since become the equivalent of Christianity, i.e., the most popular ones to follow. The majority of the world follows one of these three gods.
These are the ones.
That's actually incorrect.
It's not Christianity. These three have risen to
the most fame.
Basically, the Hades, the Poseidon, and the Zeus.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
They are the top three.
Yeah.
So, are we getting anything off this black paper when we hold it up to the light or anything like that? Like, can we see indentation in the paper?
You can see there is slight discoloration to parts of the paper. If you and Boomer, you manipulate it and move it. You move it under a much more intense light, like a bright light, and you can notice that in the paper there are words inside the paper.
Ooh.
And again, like I said,
it's folded over and being sealed shut.
No. It's one piece of paper. And your brain, you get the urge to put it in the brazier. Do like as an idea? Do you do this?
The razor.
Yeah,
Put it in the fire. Torch
Light it on
razor.
fire.
Yeah.
Go on, Boomer, you're good at this kind of stuff.
yeah. I was gonna
Like,
say you trust your intuition. It's and you don't feel like you're being manipulated, and you know it's mundane.
Yeah, because obviously you're learning a bit of
Identify has been
alchemist.
cast on it, and it knows it's
No,
mundane.
you haven't cast Identify on it. That was what I handed it over to him to do.
No, the cast did cast identify.
Cast Identify on the metal wrapping.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Do I get a chance? Is he already burning it up, though?
Well,
Not yet.
not yet. No. You could. Well, I was gonna say
Oh,
you are free
I
to
did
discuss it.
burn
You
it
can
then.
kind of say,
Okay, before
I
you
reckon.
do anything to damage it, find out if it's magical first.
I will cast Identify on it.
you find that in the paper, not all of it, but some of it, there is partial magical protection going on to protect elements of this small sheet of paper. There is a small sense of abjuration magic.
Okay, so instead of burning
Protect
instead of protecting it and doing that, Boomer, do you want to cast Detect Magic so you can see the parts where the magic is wrapped around?
Yes, I'll do that.
Just light it up like
See-
a Christmas.
Yeah, obviously I'll move to the edge of the circle thing as
The
well.
non-detection, yeah, because otherwise it would.
Yeah.
You cast detect magic. Are you just casting it? I assume.
I'll do it as a ritual, so.
Okay.
With, yeah. Yeah.
You go through
Oh,
the
that's a big
motions, and after
slot.
10 minutes, you can sense, like I said, faint outlines of abjuration magic that are coming from the parchment and the paper. Not entirely the entire like sheet, but probably a third of it.
Does it have shapes like words where it's been written?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was going to say, just the match as
Uh,
the outlines shape it.
I would say actually, yeah. You can make out that it's all one piece, like, but words and letters are made, but they're all connected. So if you were to burn the external paper, it would leave one piece, and it reads as an invitation to the auction. Go to Le Grand and speak with Orgs Finter.
It's an invitation to the auction.
Goody!
We haven't been invited.
Yeah.
So, it looks like we, instead of managing to find someone trying to kill us, we've managed to find a potential ally.
It does also ask to dress in masquerade.
Oh.
Like a
Yeah.
party.
So
Good hat,
fancy
good.
dressed and masks.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
I think
well,
we might be on a little.
Does that mean we can get to
Party.
go to the ball?
probably
It does seem
will.
a bit-
Let's first find out more information now we have it.
Shall we wake up our friend?
We might as well.
I'm gonna.
What's
Can someone? I'm really. Would someone mind bringing his body into here? Him
Please.
into here,
We
and
brought
I
him-
will.
Yeah, we brought everything, including him, back in.
Do you want to give him a little ping? Just like one
Oh.
HP? To bring
I'll
him back?
splash a bucket of water over his head.
That works
Oh
good.
my
I have my hand in the air ready to slap him around the face. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I was gonna say
Wake him up nicely.
one of your mobile workshop implements. You just grab the bucket that you've got. Like with, I'd imagine you've probably been like washing your hands and like rubbing all like the muck off when you've been working, and you just throw that on him, and he just
You basically
Excellent.
chuck dirty bath water over him. That's disgusting.
it's dirty workshop water, and
Even worse.
and the worst thing
Well,
is
He's
his
probably
He's-
been
what?
bathing it as well. There's no
the worst
shower
thing
in
is
this life.
his mouth is held open as well because there's fucking bindings in his
Oh,
mouth.
God.
No. We didn't restore the bindings.
Oh, so his mouth is not Bound.
He's
Okay.
not gagged because he
Oh,
was
okay.
talking and then got punched out.
I thought you'd redone it to prevent spellcasting. Okay, but either way, he's like, you kind of hear the. He's like, you just hear him growing like.
Wakey.
Thought you would have killed me by now.
Well, we were, but we got a little hungry. Holding up the piece of metal. Do you want to do introductions again?
The name's.
You need a worry.
No.
The name's Ungray.
Hungry.
Can I just say I am having insight going off at this entire conversation just
Yeah.
before it starts,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Hmm.
The name's Ungray.
So, Hungry. I presume you're here. Well, you were here to try and get some people to go back and do that to secure your cover, so you could get closer to said leader, so the leader of this group, and kill her.
I've been looking into her for a few months now. Managed to work my way up. No,
Oh, carry on, please.
no, he is. I'm just playing the part of the groggy, fucking beaten man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do apologise as well for the rude awakening. But do you need something?
No,
Food? Water?
I'm alright.
Whisper to magic?
Are we okay?
Let's just get through this first.
Look, have you... And obviously the metal's like bent open, so he knows you've opened it. You've seen the papers. You know what the Varric thing isn't entirely true.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I will admit you were very convincing at it.
no, that's the point. Especially in front of the other two.
Yeah. Well, one's dead, the other one's gone.
I was sent in to look for Alexandra. Found out that she's actually Aper.
Mm-hmm.
Been working my way up. Doing not great things, but slowly earning trust. And getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Plan is that I was supposed to take her out, create a power vacuum, and hopefully the facility eats itself from within.
Okay.
From what I can tell, she has lieutenants, but none of them... fuck. None of them are trusted enough to take the reins after. She seems to be more than convinced that she doesn't need them or want them.
Okay. So you have this. So, I presume the auction is not far off.
3 days.
3 days.
We were supposed to get you broken and ready.
Mm-hmm. So, what have you got planned now?
Well, the problem is, if I go back empty-handed, everything I've been working for the past 3 months, the people I've done horrible things to, is for nothing. Because my reputation will be in tatters.
It's another plan coming. If you were to have brought us back, how close would that have got you to Aper?
I've had a couple of words with her, one-on-one. Not many, but being one of the more efficient workers for her, given I'm one of the newer ones, I've earned her respect, and I've managed to get myself in a couple of situations with her, but not alone yet.
So you wouldn't have been able to walk us straight up to her?
No. When I take people, they're left at the entryway and you're dealt with there. Anyone that needs debriefing or talking to gets done and dealt with there. I only ever speak with her days after jobs, but she has first, or at least second-hand information on people that are brought in and situations dealt with her. If anyone had complications on jobs, they're usually dealt with if it's critical by her. Otherwise, it's the people that work there. Val normally deals with it all. Unless it's anything specific. Val's the one that runs the prisoner control. As I said, she has a number of lieutenants. That's the one I've been the subordinate to for some time, although past 2-3 weeks I've been given autonomy and don't take orders from Val. I've essentially become equal, but only in stature, not actual responsibility. Normally, when we go to collect people, there's 3 watch groups, making sure things don't go awry. Given my status and abilities, I've been able to lead a 3-man group alone.
That it's gone so hideously wrong does not bode well for you.
No, if I go back as is, it's not going to be great. Like I said, I've done a number of things I'd rather not have done, but it's a case of hurt a few to save the many. Not proud of it, but it's the only way that I was given.
How far does this group's influence spread into the town?
From what I know, there's at least 10 or so people that are under control but don't work for them, blackmail and the such. The cook at the tavern is one of them, obviously, as you know. In town, there's probably 60 or so blades, and then the upper echelons much more fine-tuned. Most of them work the facility, others are scouts, others are collectors.
So, have you got any idea how you'd want to proceed with the plan? Presume you have us as allies.
Let's roll a history check for our boy. Not an history check, intelligence check. It could take you in tonight under the guise that I was successful despite complications. It would add to the fact that you're dangerous, which is good, and the legitimacy of why I've come back alone and it's taken so long. I could ensure that your bindings and things are rigged, that they're visibly locked but not if tested. The pit where you're taken to fight is covered with a jail cell roof. I could work some time and make sure a portion of it's weak enough that, again, if the right force is applied, the people inside could get out. A lot of the people that usually work the auctions, it's crammed with mostly normal folk that are there to partake. Usually not that many guards, given the creatures, the security levels already in place. They wouldn't expect it. Aper usually oversees it with 4 or 5 guards, the bookmakers, the bid takers, and then all the people. Most of the security is kept in containment areas in case any prisoners try to break out, but once they're in the arena, they're usually left for the creatures to deal with. And Cass, roll an insight as you've been listening, because I've just seen you back. We're going to carry on, Michael.
Okay. So when you say weaken the roof for force to be able to allow...
If it's hit, it would, like a section of the bars would break, giving you... It's a tall wall, though, mind you. It's... Let me...
make it to the point that was directly before where Aper would be standing, would you?
It's possible. The wall is about 40 foot high, though. That's the only issue, and it's sheer wall. But where Aper normally stands, that's where the gate is, and there is slight footholds where you could possibly climb up.
A little bit of justice. She gets to face the monsters she sets on others, and we get to make an escape.
Cass, you have been listening to this man, and he's extremely cards close to the chest, and it's obvious that he's speaking the minimum, but what's coming out, you don't get a feeling of distrust from him. You kind of get that, fuck, I never thought someone would find that. And then it's that reluctance, like what you guys did like an hour ago. You kind of see, you're seeing what you felt, that, well, fuck.
This is what it's like from the outside.
Yeah. How many people were you meant to collect tonight?
I was told to collect 6, and as the ledger explains, it details you people, and that you were on a ship called the Derek. I was to bring you in tonight and go from there. The hope was that this, maybe 1 or 2 more, would get me a private meeting with Aper. A way of thanking me for the good work. Get her in her private quarters and do what was to be done.
What would happen if you only took so many back?
As in, that some of you fled.
If some of us were to flee, if some of us were to flee, the Derek were to be gone in the morning. Your 2 companions had died in the fight. You were able to get some out, but the others were able to take the ship and flee.
It would look... It would be a problem for them, given possible exposure, but it would be better than going back alone. Having some
What
of the elk is better than losing the entire hunt.
I mean, for this is just a suggestion. It's not an actual, like we have to do this. But what if we had some inside and some outside?
That was sort of my plan.
That's it. If we had our
Liam, shut your face.
I love it. I love it. I'm just waiting for.
Liam,
You're like,
No, literally, I'm just waiting for Deer to start asking every person.
Yeah.
Do you want to run a foreign country? And then literally just walk up to you and go. He said, "Yeah, no worth it."
he's gonna be like trying to sabotage other people just so he can take over. Didn't realise he was a megalomaniac. Anyway.
I mean, he was halfway there. He's just a regular maniac at the moment.
He'd be a tyrannical dictator, wouldn't he?
No,
Rather than a
wouldn't
team.
No, he wouldn't be a tyrant. No.
No, he's gonna be like
No,
like a figurehead, and everyone underneath him is gonna be like, one day we'll kill him.
No. Everybody. No, he'd be the person who everybody else looks like. He's a genius. How will we be able to get round him? He's just spinning in an office chair, going la 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 la. Everyone thinks he's thinking something.
It's like
extremely deep.
Like
But
he
in
comes.
fact, there's nothing going on in his head. Just
Yeah,
static.
and like the things he comes out with are like the most perfectly thought out plans, but it's just the first thing that he thinks of.
You know, it's like, oh my god, how did he manage to counteract that entire plan? He must have seen through all of us, a year's worth of work. I want the red flowers.
That does sound legit. But anyway,
No, what I'm thinking is if we have those that have to get up and close and personal in the let's say the slave team, for lack of a better word, or the captured team, and then we also have a team in fancy dress that are kind of hidden by masks. They are outside of the arena, so we can take care of two problems with one stone a little bit. Well, two stones technically.
One problem with two stones rather than two bigger problems.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know too much about what goes on outside of the arena. I've not dealt with it too much. That was given as an insurance that if I couldn't get in, I was to use that instead.
Well, if we were to use that to try and get some of our people in...
I don't know, though, what to expect on that side of things.
That's fine. To be honest, we haven't known what to expect in multiple locations that we've just walked into, so it's kind of our MO right now.
Right.
If we were to have, like I say, if instead of like your private audience, everything else, maybe not get into her room, like you say, but
Right.
to be at her side, perhaps, when your latest quarry goes through their trial.
Yeah.
You be at her side, a couple of our people next to it. Your idea of weakening the thing so those inside can get out. We shove her in to fight the monster.
Yeah.
I could also...
Thank you for
this
the
will be
raid source,
tomorrow.
Goatee. Massively appreciated, my man. And for you, you get a shout out. Apologies I can't talk too much. D&D's very story based, so please just enjoy and listen. Hope you have a good day, man.
Mainly enjoy.
We could also, because we are going to... Those outside of the arena, which I assume I would be one of them because I can be distance, I could always prepare to paralyze her if the situation got a bit heavy.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We got some people to hit from outside, and then we strike from within. I'm going to have to say that more than likely, if anybody's going in, it's more than likely going to have to be myself. Greytail and Dia are both going to have to come in with as well.
Well, me and Dia don't really need weapons, so
No.
you'd be at a bit of a disadvantage.
No, but also the fact is, I'm guessing the well and fancy to do of the nobility that'll be watching us is going to draw your ire a little bit, and also you two are very distinctive compared to everyone else.
No,
Anybody?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I would have liked to go to the party, but
The whole point of the
can you
the
can you
whole
fight without a weapon?
the whole point of the party is to provide betting on the fight as well as assessing capabilities, and then they can essentially people can go to the bookmakers and either make bids on if you'll live or not, and if they wish to purchase you, they can put an amount in, and whoever puts the highest is the winner, like a silent auction.
If Greytail does want to be on the party side, I can do things at range. I could be on either side.
I think.
No, I think me being one of the prisoners is the better option.
So yeah, it's the three of us.
Would we be able to smuggle weapons in for Evan?
Do you know if we're given weapons in these fights?
Or aren't we getting out of the prison before we're chucked into a fight with a monster?
Normally, like I said, you're held for a couple days first, hence why 3 days away.
Yeah,
Your
3 days.
equipment is usually your armor is left on you. Your weapons will be in the arena, waiting for you when you go.
So we keep our full equipment and we just fight against them.
The point is the creatures are deadly enough to draw your attention that you can't focus on much else. I don't know the extent, but I do know they have some defenses aside from the physical bars, the walls. I don't know them though, not that well.
Well, being a fellow cleric, would you know if messages and stuff like that would be able to get through? If they're going to be there for 3 days?
I would assume so, yeah. I don't know exactly the level of runes of warding, if they have any. I know of defences, and aside from what I've seen physically, I haven't had chance to check, because any chance I've had alone has not been for long, or I've been working at getting closer and more intimate with Aper to try and deal with her.
So, if everyone else, so the idea that we're proposing at the moment then is you take a portion of this back, claim either they escaped, your other 2 companions died in the fight, or one died, the other one left.
Yeah.
Or however. We've got... We do that, you bring back a smaller group, the others were able to get away. Our group then makes their way back, meets up with you somewhere in the city.
We would have to go undercover and we would have to move Derek.
Yeah, well, we can move Derek, that's fine.
Well, if we're going with the story that some of you fled, then the ship needs to leave.
Yeah, the ship will be able to leave. We'll do that, and then we can get people to come meet up with you back in the town.
Right.
And then you can maneuver your way through the party and meet up there. We have a group that's down there waiting to go. I mean, as for getting out of the cage, if the roof is weakened to get out, I know these 2 will be able to get out very quickly.
The roof's welded across itself, but the frame is held in by pittons and large bolts that have been put into the masonry.
Maybe have a bit of a little chat with our friend Boom.
If Boomer can find a way to try and get through it at the time. So if Boomer can get help, if Boomer can assist you, if Boomer can find a way to try and get through that roof, and if you, like I say, I'm almost hung up on the point now of trying to make sure that Aper joins in the festivities with at least myself down in the pit to get an intimate look at the monster she's been having this fight. I hope you're...
Let me see what I can do. What we could do. Fellow spellcasters.
You try and do that, and then we do that. These two will be able to climb up very quickly. It'll probably take me a little bit longer to climb up, but if somebody can get some sort of rope or climbing equipment close by to get me out, that's fine. Stephanie, you're a pretty good shot, so I would say you're good to try and do a ranged fight in the party.
But we focus on Aper, not the monster.
Oh no, not the monster. The monster can stay in its cage.
No,
And
the
then-
Yeah, we
monster,
need to
the
focus on
monster,
the guards and Aper.
the monster will be loose with you.
Oh no, it'll be loose in the cage with me, but us then getting out of the cage means it's stuck in the cage.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We get
That's going to be
ourselves...
an out, essentially.
we get ourselves out of the cage. Everybody else on the outside of the cage is causing trouble, distractions, keeping everybody out there busy, whilst we make our escape. We join in the fight up top and kill Aper.
I've got a quick question. Just as a technical question, I guess could be the correct way of speaking.
Yeah.
If I was to create or destroy water,
Yeah.
creating essentially a slide into the arena and out of the arena, if someone was to freeze that, would that work?
It would be hard to climb because it's icy, but in theory, yeah.
A bit more, put a hold person on it and push them down.
Oh, going down would be the easy. It's the going up would be the difficult one.
Like I say, we weren't going for that in the first place. It's, for those who've seen wrestling or anything, it's the Undertaker Mankind section, and she is Mankind in that moment.
You're gonna choke
Paralyze and just chuck
just
her
need to
through,
get her-
let her break through the roof. She falls in. Oh shit, I'm fucked. Nice seeing you. Bye. That's the entire intention.
Okay. That makes
Oh,
more
yeah.
sense. I don't know, I don't watch wrestling!
Wrestling. I said from the beginning, we're going to shove her in, right? Yes.
You're in, yeah.
So much, so
Wait
much.
for that.
Okay.
So the entire plan, half the group. I'm not entirely sure where Boomer should
Well,
be.
we are splitting the party Allegan Girls mentioned it. I'm like, oh, we're splitting
Yeah,
the party.
Let's wait.
Yeah.
No, Alagan just wants you to take the big boss fight. Alagan wants action.
Big boss fight, 'cause as soon as it's killed, we've got to kill the monster, right? Yeah, it'll still happen. Don't worry.
Yeah, the
Something
main thing.
like-
I'd say the main thing at the moment is if we split the group 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cass, Persephone, and Boomer on the team infiltration, and I can't believe I'm recommending Boomer for infiltration.
Yeah, but Boomer is going to be our explosive expert.
Boomer's going to be the one getting us out of the cage. He can't exactly do that from
Exactly.
within the cage.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're making the thermite to break the metal.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like you're one of the alchemist things and modifying it.
Okay, we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
Outside the
So
session.
we've got
Yeah.
you've got those 3 outside causing havoc and pandemonium and getting us out and Aper in.
Ooh.
And we 3, whose job is to stay alive and get out.
I think Persephone could be quite useful in that. She's incredibly sneaky and quite. What's the best word of explaining it? I'm sure she would be able to lift something off somebody if needs be.
For what purpose?
Keys to the locks, potentially.
Well, we won't need them, but yeah. Well, we shouldn't need them.
I just mean, just in case absolutely anything goes wrong with this plan, it could be that somebody
Maybe.
checks your manacles before you go in. Literally anything could happen. We don't know.
I
We
mean,
just
they're
need.
chucking us into the fight against these creatures with our own weapons and armor.
That's true.
They've got to make sure you put up the best fight, because that's how you drive the price up.
Yeah. So we're only going to. So the only reason that we'd be the only times we'll be manacled is from when we get dropped off
To when you
to
fight.
when we
yeah,
when we
because
enter the cage.
you'll be taken into the arena, released, and it'd be like, give us a show, lads.
Yep. So it's us. So
Because
we don't
it's actually in their interest to give you the best fighting chance.
Yeah.
Because that's how they extract the most value.
I mean, we could just. I know that they're going to let us in, but I mean, Persephone's going to be quite useful anyway because she is incredibly sneaky.
So you're able to live. So Stephanie can try and get some extra things off of people, even if that includes weapons off guards from there.
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking. Or maybe the money bag off the book takers.
Real, that is a far down the list extra objective.
Oh, completely. It was more so that we could give it back. I don't mean keep it for ourselves at all. But, you know,
I have one more
not it's just
question.
going into criminal hands.
I was going to say, as you mentioned the money bag, you do see a slight
Kid's face.
amused. It's like an amused, like, huh, from the cleric on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't mean for us to keep ourselves. Let me get that completely clear. I mean,
Not even a portion of it.
no, not even a portion, Persephone.
But say any portions.
Thank you.
The only portions we'd be getting out of it are any portions that we put into it.
Exactly. If needs be, it goes so that it stops this from happening. Because we speak to a guy that told us that he needed money, and that's the only reason he joined up into that. Money is power, essentially. If we leave the money here, we'll just keep on going.
Yes, but I imagine that they're not exactly going to be holding onto it for long.
Just a portion.
No.
Our hard work here, you know.
Our hard
No.
work will be will be knowledge of the good work that we already did.
Exactly. We took down a slavery ring where they were trying to capture and enslave people to be sold or die, you know?
And I'm pretty sure when we bring it up to other people, we'll probably get rewarded for doing a job that they didn't know about.
Exactly.
Well, for those that, if money is your motivation, I know with the betting at least, minimum bets is usually in the 100 platinum as a minimum.
Jeez.
100
Okay.
platinum, which is 1,000 gold. They don't.
Minimum.
They don't deal with gold or silvers. They only deal in platinums. It's too
Right,
heavy otherwise.
It's low down on our list anyway, so
Oh.
that's not. But I think the idea about getting weapons off people or information.
100
Uh-huh.
platinum. Yeah.
I have a question. The invitation, how many people does that get in?
It doesn't specify.
It's just for these people.
So us three, we
So
need
would
to
he-
come up with covers. Actually.
Would it just be for one person, or would it be a...
The invitation usually covers one person and their entourage, as they often expect a noble person to bring other nobility and possibly guards and other people that maintain them.
Good, okay.
I've seen from the lower parts of the arena groups of 15 sometimes with one person, but that'll all have come under one invitation.
I have a question for you. In your entire time working for this group, and you've been paying attention to anyone, has any member of their group that you've come across been a pair, a couple of people, one an elf and one a dwarf?
Not that my knowledge, no. I
So
haven't.
definitely not the couple that you saw in the tavern.
Oh, you on about those? No.
Ooh. Do you want some backup?
I'm thinking that myself. That's very good.
Let's get a couple of ex-adventurers involved.
Interesting. I mean, you're pulling all the cards you've got. It's interesting.
I wanted to get them involved in some way. They were being shot down as possible informants, but now that we know that they could be on our side,
Yeah.
I want backup.
Yeah. So,
I'd say the dwarf's going to be dying of old age soon, so let's give him one last fight, give him something to sink his teeth in a little bit.
I understand completely, but we need to come up with a cover story. I mean,
Well,
you guys, it's fairly easy. You just got to be captured individuals.
Yeah.
For us,
I mean,
it's
those-
slightly different.
Those two can definitely be. Well, you can get a couple of these guys to look like bodyguards at least.
They're usually. Yeah.
So, who's the noble person? Then let's decide that.
Yeah. Who's the older of the invitation and who's the entourage?
Exactly.
Boomer's
We need it to
entourage.
come at this point.
Oh wow, Boomer's not even considered. Entourage.
But I say, Boomer makes more sense for one of the persons like for the noble person to say, you run the numbers. What are their chances for me?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
That's true.
Because and the thing is, the entourage can span from anything from personal guards, friends, even down to stylists and makeup people to literally be holding a bag of things on the spot to doll them up as needed.
What about Persephone in the noble?
Persephone being the noble, yes. If
Oh, but she's blue.
but what about our
I mean, technically, those sea elves, she could be.
Yeah.
They can't tell age if we.
Yeah, no.
Here,
That's fine.
You know, elf?
I've got an idea, and then our friend from the bar, if they are willing to join in, could be covering a more senior advisor role, making sure she's not too careless with her money.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got that would leave yourself and our other friend from the bar to cover the more defensive roles, as it were.
Cass kind of looks down at a very tiny, spindly body and just goes, "Yeah, totally. I can be a bodyguard.
That's kind
It's
of
strange,
That's
but I can do."
kind of the situation we've got there. Is either you're going to take it or Persephone is going to take your position. Persephone,
Okay, so Persephone, would you like to be the noble or not?
To really set me to be a noble, I'm too gobby
That's a
for that.
no. Okay.
So Persephone,
I
you
was
can
gonna
be
say
the-
I never considered it, but the way you guys are talking about it, it's Cassie's the perfect one for it.
Exactly. I'm too gobby and
I'm willing
rebellious.
to give up
Yeah.
a options to step up and take it.
It's fair.
No
No,
one
that
else
is fair.
No. It's one of those things of it's a great idea to pass it around, but at the same time, you're the best fit. You take that position. Stephanie, you are the kind of the alert guard that's kind of just keeping an eye out around the party.
Certainly.
Yes, so you're the one that's travelling around making sure that there's no threats. Our dwarven friend from the bar will stay close as he is the more secure protection. Again, you're more elven. You're our elven
The only thing I
advisor.
want to point out though,
Yeah?
is Mela and Vim in the bar are
Masquerade.
more than well known though.
Masquerade and a few bits of magic. I'm sure they'd be able to make it look interesting.
It just pointing out it's a possible risk.
Nope. It's a possible risk, and we will have to burn that bridge as we cross. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make that conversation with them, so this is going to have to be the rest of you, as we are burning time before you can get us back.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if we can use a disguise kit, I am extraordinarily
gifted, and I
gifted
presume-
with languages and other things, so I can make us look different than what we are and sound different if needs be.
and I'm pretty sure them will be able to do something. I mean, if it's the case that their voices are too distinctive, I'm pretty sure Vim can just stay quiet and growly.
Or we have them as what's the best way of explaining it? They drive the cart away from the heist. They ensure our get out of this area.
I'm pretty sure that the bard will know some sort of disguise magic.
I know, I was thinking more about the other cleric.
That's why I said the other cleric can just be the quiet, grim, growly type. Anybody starts talking to him, and they back off.
Just to point out though that Vim is like, he's at the decrepit old age sort of thing. He's
distinct. Wow.
Well, the point I was going to make out, he's hardly combat capable anymore. He can still cast spells and shit, but
yeah,
if you try and ask him to run and swing a weapon, no chance. He'll fucking swing his back out.
We don't need him to be able to swing a weapon. We just need him to look like he can swing a weapon.
Yeah. Well, because he's literally like in the last 10 years of his lifespan, like even if less.
He's retired.
Oh yeah, no, he's like
okay. So
he's like 80 human years.
I have 6 months of my lifespan, and I can still swing a weapon around.
Yeah.
So he just enters the thing with something like bull strength or the constitution boosting ones that just make him.
We keep them as backup. We're not going to utilize them. Yeah. They are there if shit goes south.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
not
yeah.
It's not frontline. It's not frontline fighting. It's.
I just wanted you to just know. Yeah. Don't expect him to fight. Mella's more than capable because she's only like 500 odd.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is if they're going to go into it, I'm not asking them like, hey, hold the front line. That'll be my job when I get up there. It's if you're going to be there, look like you're the part to be there, and then wreck everyone's shit with all the combat magic you know.
All right.
Now, that should
work. They're backup, essentially.
Yeah, they're backup. I mean, they back you up until we can get up there.
That's fine. I'll be fine. You don't need to worry about me ever.
That's great to hear. I can worry about the rest of them, though, right?
Whatever you see fit. But yeah, you guys need to go begin that, so...
Yes, we need to, but does this sound good to you?
Is this to
yes.
Unrai? It could work.
You're gonna have to talk very fast, but you can get us there. You're gonna have to give them... I'm gonna have to take a few whacks with that. We're gonna have to take some whacks from that mace, aren't we?
Well, I can't have you looking untouched and me looking like a pile of shit.
Well,
it just kind of like cocks his head like.
You can look a less of a pile of shit, but you're still gonna need to look knackered if you fall buzz off.
Do you want a slight bit of healing?
I can do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He didn't exactly get to do much in the fight, did he?
No.
How do you snap
So we need to go and grab equipment. So I need to go and get suited up, and then we need to get ready to go. Any other things that we need to do? Anyone can think. So it's going to be Deer, Greytail, and myself. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
You guys need to pretend that we got away, that none of this was discussed, okay? Remember that.
So we need to do that. Essentially, all we need to do is...
No, I would like a yes from everybody. I'm so sorry about this, but just want to double check some people.
Yes.
I believe you ran away, you bloody cowards.
You are,
That didn't sound so certain, dear.
Yeah.
Keep quiet. If anyone asks you, just look sad.
Basically, you got knocked out before... Or you don't even know what happened. The drug worked for you.
But all Deer's got to say is, are we fighting an ice golem?
Yeah.
We just want to keep saying down.
Just keep requesting to fight an ice golem anytime anyone mentions anything to you. Just request an ice golem. Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Greytail.
Yeah. Well, no. Don't even. Actually, yes. Ask everyone if they've got an ice golem and if they want to fight a country. Ask only those 2 questions to everyone.
Told you had an ice golem. I want an ice golem.
I'll give you a country for it. Do that. Do exactly that.
Nothing else, though. You can't say anything else about that country, okay?
You can't even remember the name of the country, but just keep asking
No.
if they want a country.
Okay.
Stick to those. Greytail, you and I put up a bit of a fight. We weren't drugged.
How beat up do you two want to look?
Shit kicked out of us.
Oh. Do we want temporary hit points? Because I've got some. I've got 14 of these biscuits.
I think lack of
Or shall we
temporary
save
hit
them?
We're going to have a few days to rest up first. So
Okay.
I'll go put the armor on. I'll go put the armor on and grab the mace. You hit me. I hit you. He finishes, and we go. He drags the cart.
Oh, I get to hit Evan. This is the best plan ever.
And I
The
get to
only
hit-
thing is, though, I'm just going to state this: he's a cleric. There needs to be other kinds of damage rather than just punching and hitting. Just saying.
Oh no, it's like the mace is no. Actually, no. Sorry, I won't be using the maul. I'll be using his mace, and you'll be using his mace.
Yes, you need to do damage that looks like it's come from them, not just from each other.
Yeah, and if you want to hit us,
Hmm.
if you two want to hit us with a few blasts of magic as well, that would be great.
I was just going to put spirit guardians because I don't actually want to hurt you.
No,
So-
blast the crap out of us.
I mean, he's right there. He could just hit us himself. But yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
no, it's he'll get
Yeah.
some hits in as well, but we can assist. So
I mean, technically all my damage is internal, so I can make your ears bleed.
just
No thanks.
just make it hurt either way. No, okay. So
Ugh.
we all good?
We
All good?
will,
So, all
very
good? All good?
calmly.
Any plans? Either way, anything else that you want us to discuss with us now before we go and get kept?
My
Don't
party is
shoot you.
imploding at the seams. They are kicking the shit out of each other. Oh no!
Hey,
Do you want me to shoot you with my bow and arrow as well?
no, none of them came with a bow and arrow.
No, it was
I've got some
daggers.
darts.
It was daggers, swords, mace, and whatever magic a cleric could
Darts.
possibly conjure, and the darts. Yeah.
And darts. Just go with
Darts.
Daggers.
yes. You can throw a couple of daggers at us.
Oh, I like daggers.
Yes, everybody gets to everybody gets to beat the crap out of me and Greytail. Dia was unconscious.
Yeah.
So are we dropping you two to 0 hit points but stabilizing? I
Yeah.
assume that's what
Yeah.
you would have done.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
that's the thing. No, you're going to beat the crap out of us to nearly that point, and
Well,
then
even if they
we're
do
going
go
to-
unconscious, Unri has spare
Yeah.
the dying.
yeah, and that's the thing. Is what we're going to say is beat the crap out of us, kind of here. We then walk
You on
with him.
whatever they were going to transport you.
Yeah, he drags us to wherever it is. Then we walk with him to get quicker to where we need to be. He then beats us unconscious, and then takes us in.
Cool.
That's good. They're gonna keep the information on your mission. So just in case that this is an elaborate trick, that information will find it into your boss's hands.
That was to Unri, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
You understand, as someone who I believe understands doing something. You know, you got to cover yourself.
Yes. We've got this. We're gonna work on trust because it's what we need to do right now. But if we end up betrayed, we're going to explain. This is going to find its way into your boss's hands, and there's no way you. Well, that doubt will never leave, even if you do manage to convince them otherwise.
We're going to move Derek a little bit further up the coastline.
Derek's
And-
going to be out of the way.
Yeah, in a couple of days we are then going to board the shore. We're going to have to get the masks somehow, or we'll get. Boomer and I can make them, and we can do dresses and whatnot. It shouldn't take too long. I assume we have materials on board the ship. We then board, and then we're going to literally come into town. We can't be seen before that point.
Kind of just look Cass in the eyes and kind of just gesture at the Derek as it can move itself kind of thing. So
No, so we're gonna when we get off the boat, it's gonna move itself away from the
Yeah.
shoreline. We're just gonna hide out for a couple of days and then come back, get in town, but try not to make it seem, oh, the big ship called the Derek has just arrived. You know what I mean?
no,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Is basically what I'm saying is the Derek can go and it's got like 6 days worth of food, so all well and good and sorted. So Derek can go off, get itself sorted, hide itself away, comes back in 5 days' time. Okay. So
Cool.
Derek leaves, comes back in 5 days' time. At which point everything should be sorted either way.
So what? How are we? Are we gonna just camp outside the city then for 3 days?
Well, you guys will need to come into town if you're going to be able to try and speak to our friends.
Hmm.
So you guys are gonna,
Um,
yeah, you guys are gonna have
The guy that we've been talking to, Uri or whatever his name.
Unreal.
Great.
Unreal.
Unri, thank you.
Anyway,
I'll put the spelling in the chat.
How many people have been told to look out for us because we're going to be the ones that are captured next?
Well, you, along with 2 other groups, we've been to be claimed. You was tonight. There was someone else yesterday and tomorrow.
So the main thing is you've done that. You just don't come in wearing all the shiny armor. You wear a few cloaks. We don't look like. You try and make yourself
Yeah.
not look like you. Get to the
Mhm.
tavern. Go and ask to speak to the 2 of them.
I was
in
thinking
there.
of just sending a message and calling them outside.
Yeah, that works too. Just get them to come and meet us. We need assistance. That should work. Try and see if we can't pull them into one last adventure.
Yeah, I don't really want to go in that tavern, seeing as that was the tavern that apparently were going to drug us, I think he said.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. But that was the kitchen staff, and they don't normally go. They aren't front facing.
Yeah.
So
Just in case.
yeah. So you guys are you 3 are in charge of getting everything prepared to get us out. So that includes a way to try and get all of us out of the cage, even if that means climbing equipment, please. So we've got that. We 3 are going to go get captured, and we will see you on the night.
Oh yes.
Danny?
Are you sure you're going to be
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
What's that roll?
It's for a lagging in the chat, don't worry about it.
What's he asked for?
It was just a little joke, don't worry about it. It's nothing mechanical, like actually affecting you guys. You can read.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Well, Rose can see it.
I currently do not have the Twitch open, so. Such a shame, I know. What does he say?
It was. She used like the highlight the messaging for channel points, and she put cast prestidigitation to make a message glow. And I said roll performance, and then she did like a command for it, so I rolled it for her. She got
Okay.
6. It was terrible.
It's terrible. Right. So
Um,
you 3 get everything sorted on the outside. We'll see you in a few days. Yes?
Yes.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, I'm gonna go and put my armor on and then fun time to bound, I guess. So I go and get my armor, a couple of minutes later I'm back. Fun time to
Great house, yeah.
Dia gets to stand off to the side because Dia's just
Yeah, he's not getting pummeled.
yeah.
I do some deep breathing, kind of just get my head in a
You
some
pretend to
kind
be
of
asleep.
meditating.
No,
It's going to be like that child that's pretend snoring. Yeah.
You can do that now.
yeah.
Can
Okay,
you actually make them sleep? Like, have you got one of those things that can make someone go to sleep?
Have you got any more of it? Or was
Yeah.
that all of it?
I have more.
Ellie.
I.
Cool. When you get close, just
Pour it down.
drink the potion.
He went to respond, and he was like, "Cool."
If you've got more,
Yeah,
we use it on him.
I've got more knock powder. Yeah.
It'll help you out, dude. Trust me.
Okay. You also need to grab the rest of your equipment that we took off you.
Well, I'm assuming.
It's one for you, and I'll hand over his holy symbol.
I was going to say. I just want to say. I assume he's still bound. Do you unbind him?
Oh, yeah, we're unbinding him and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And then
proceed to get-
you'll watch as he casts not a lot, but enough of healing, so he's got like a third of his health.
Yeah. he looks like he's had the crap beat out of him,
But he's come out of it okay.
yes. So, between everyone, we are reduced to single-digit hit points as we are pummeled and blasted and stabbed with daggers and shit.
And then Unri will preferably want to chain you, like put the chains around you and stuff, and make it look like you were knocked unconscious. And because don't forget, there's the hand cart at the end of the pier.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So we're going to go down to the hand cart. He's going to chuck us on the hand cart. He's going to drag us
To where they go, yeah.
where they're going to go. Then, once we're in there, we follow him to where we need to be. Then he manacles us, whatever, beats the crap out of us, and drags us round the corner. So we
Okay.
can be a little bit quicker than him trying to drag 3 unconscious people by himself.
Fair enough. Take you 90% of the way, then do the last bit, yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. And that's going to be Deer, Grey, and Evan. Everyone else is going to faux flee.
I give my bag of holding to Cass.
It's a good point. Anything you don't want them going through, get it off your character sheets, because I will...
Basically, my money... So, yeah, money and shit that we don't want them to have goes in the bag of holding and goes to Cass.
Do you want to put your sensor in there as well, or are you going to take that with you just in case they decide?
I should probably... Yeah, give that to you, and then you can probably get it to me if needs be.
I'll put it in the bag of holding, so
Put it in the
I
bag
just
of
think
holding
it
and
would be
then
an action
grab
to
it, yeah.
take that and give it to you.
Yes. Also, there's some money in there if you do need to look like you're making a bet.
Is that the party fund?
No. It's the debt that's been paid to me. There is 300 platinum in there.
How did you get 300 platinum?
I don't know, Boomer, how the hell did you get 300 platinum?
We were going to have a chat about this later.
Yeah. This is that. I like how that was the first time. I like how that was the first time it was mentioned. So you can literally dump that information and be like, right, bye.
Yeah.
We will answer that question in 5 days' time when we're back on the derrick.
Yes.
It's cool. I mean, I've got a list of things that I need to talk to you guys about anyway, so we'll get to it later on.
We'll get sorted. Okay? Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
You too.
Right.
So,
So the derrick, like you guys go off onto the dock. The derrick leaves and goes eastward along the shoreline. You guys take the handcart. You go to a sewage grate that's on the shoreline along where the pier ends and then goes down, and it's like a dirt walkway. Unri lifts it and moves it. It's not meant to be, but it's broken. The cart's taken in. You guys go in behind, and he leads you for a few hundred feet or so through the network of the tunnel systems, and after about 5 or 10 minutes he goes, right, so around there is where we're gonna need to be, so you're gonna have to
So, Deer, take the knock.
you take the knock powder, and I assume you're going to let the influence take over rather than me rolling. Yeah.
So,
And then you go on the cart, and because it doesn't put you to sleep, it's when you go to sleep it makes it magically induced. So then I'd imagine you get on the cart, and you guys wait a few moments for him to try and calm down enough to sleep, and eventually the influence would be too much, and
he's asleep.
he's then wrapped in manacles and stuff because security. You two,
Manacles.
yeah. And you would be gagged as well, because you can either have the option of being knocked out and manacled, or gagged to prevent noise, as if you were screaming or something.
Unconscious.
Unconscious, okay. Because he's kind of what do you prefer? And so yeah, he'll knock you two out.
Yeah.
Couple of swift elbows, and yeah.
Just use the mace.
Yeah. The three of you are on the cart. That little scene ends there with all players not looking. The derrick takes off down the shore a few miles,
Fine.
and you guys pitch up. What's the plan?
This is
Obviously,
all
we
your
need.
Boat people?
Yeah. Pretty much, I need to start getting stuff made
Mm-hmm.
pretty quick.
Back in a minute.
Yeah, because you've got 3 days from what they've said from what Unri said to the auction. So essentially, you've got 3 days of preparation to buy whatever. So, Persephone,
So,
Boomer, Cass. Oh, Cass is be right back. So is there anything you want to start working on now, Boomy boy?
well, I'd need to start getting ingredients and that.
Okay, so you're going to need to go back to town at some point. In theory.
Yes. Well, I need as soon as I can start making stuff.
Yeah. Hello, way too slick, dude. Appreciate it, man. Carl, is there anything Persephone would like to do?
Well, she's got a disguise kit, so I'm just gonna crap a disguise.
Yeah, just prep something to get ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make sure my weapons are sharpened. I've got enough arrows. I've just been going through my inventory, so I've got plenty of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make sure I look a proper bodyguard type person rather than a villain.
Okay, yeah. So you like just alter the clothing and stuff and just
A little.
yeah, enough that it's noticeable but not too much that it's weird.
Over the top.
Yeah, no, I get that. And what I'm going to do, while we wait for Cass to come back, I'm going to need the bathroom really, really quickly. So,
Okay.
Boomer, that's going to give you a second to think of some things you need and things you've got to create. I will be back in a second. People in chat, if you want, say hi to the people, because most of them are watching the Twitch chat, so they can respond. Got you tabbed up. Thank you, Way2. It's appreciated, man. But I'll be back in just a second.
So who's the DM now? You want to take control when he's away?
We have the power.
You all get 1,000 gold each. Yay!
Oh, thank you. I'm happy with that. Cheers.
This is awkward.
Yes. Yes,
Is it? Could you perhaps sneak anything in, like some acid or something beforehand?
Well, they're giving us all our gear anyway, by the sounds, so we don't really need to
Yeah.
sneak anything. I've got my Molotovs and everything.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have left behind was the money.
So that
I mean,
was
they can take my pocket full of rocks off me if they really want to.
You have a pocket full of rocks?
Yeah. And sand or soil. Dirt.
Why?
Dirty fighting.
Oh.
Beans.
What's this?
I have a pocket full of rocks and a pocket full of dirt. I haven't really used it yet, though. The plan is to throw it in someone's face to blind them, but...
No more beans.
Right, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So, boat boys and girl, what is the plan?
Both girls and guy.
Oh shit, yeah. I forget.
Yeah, Carl's a lady.
Yes, I forgot.
She's a lady.
No, when Rose said she's a lady, then that reminded me of Little Britain. I'm a lady. I just got to imagine Carl like doing that now.
Oh.
Oh, I am not a baby though.
No, but I'm a lady. Either way, so
Yeah, I'm not talking
Boomer's
about doing
expressed
this.
interest, and he's gathering a list of things he needs to go into the town for, because the problem is he needs ingredients to make things, most importantly, bar breakers.
Yeah. And what I was going to do is use like acid and modify them to bar breakers.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
use an
nice.
extremely strong acid that's quick acting.
So,
Yeah. So I'm just
I
basing
was
off the recipe I've got
I was
of
going
it.
to clarify
Yeah,
what
no,
you're
that'd
going to
be
do
possible.
here. So you want to... These bars are above the arena, correct?
Yeah.
The arena is 40 foot tall, the wall, and it's a flat wall.
Sid,
No, he wants to chuck acid.
On
That's my point.
metal bars, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is the bars are above the people who are in the arena. That acid's going to drop on them.
Could you not just blow it up?
That's my only concern, is that if our party members are below that and that acid drops on them, that's going to hurt a lot.
I think apart from explosion would as well though.
Yeah. So it's explosions
Well,
potentially.
don't forget the bars are 40 foot high because that's how tall the wall is.
Yeah, they are
The
a lot
explosion
further.
should miss them, but
Yeah, that's
might
also
get
the thing
hit.
is, it doesn't mean that the acid has to be used now. It could be that it's weakened over a few days, that the acid's kind of poured on it and used to weaken it. For then the night, them to actually have a significant piece of force, i.e., a paralyzed body shoved on them from a great height.
Yeah, that sounds like a
But we would need to speak to Unri then
Just
before we
remember,
went in, or is
that
someone gonna go in?
that invitation's only going to get them access on the night.
Yeah,
In
but
3 days.
Unri in the meantime can be doing that.
Unri is already gone.
Yes, but you have sending.
That is true.
He can certainly try.
There's got to be another way though to do this. That's less.
I leave that in your entirely capable hands.
I mean,
I am
Unri
currently
can certainly
unconscious.
try and do that, but that's going to be rolls on his end.
It could go wrong, and then he gets caught.
Everything comes down to rolls, and
As we found out yesterday, the rolls are not always in our favour.
yeah, at the end of the day, the man's already
terribly.
yeah, this man's already in so deep. I'm sure he'd try if he could and help where he can.
What are the walls made out of?
Stone. They
Wait a
are.
minute,
I have
didn't
no
there,
idea.
there
What
were
you just
pins
please-
and stuff like that? It's secured via pins.
Pittons, yes.
Yeah, essentially what it is, it's a forged, like cross lattice metal bars. They're thick like prison bars, and like essentially at the ends where it all attaches to the wall by like the flat piece, there's like a fisheye piece of metal that a pitonish drove through into the masonry.
Well,
So
that's it, to
it's
actually
not
call
multiple
something
small
into-
sections of fence put together. It's been bespoke made as one giant piece.
Okay.
This is it. So we have to find the weakest point, because usually the thing that you're going to basically, if we were to just remove a couple of pittons, that's not going to have the whole thing collapsing in onto itself.
It's wide
Usually we
enough.
just
Well,
point to the joints.
with where the pittons attach into, it's actually wide enough that in theory it can sit on top of the wall itself. It'll just be able to be moved because it's one piece.
We want to get her to go in there, right? So she's going to be the force.
Yes. Yeah. So we want to
We need to
weaken.
weaken that area.
We need to weaken the main section where she sits in rulership over it all. Shutting up because I'm not.
No, it's fine.
I was gonna say I get the temptation. Don't worry.
So very tempted.
So yeah, Is there
Got to be
anything
something more.
you want or need to do, Cass? Because Persephone is perfecting and altering her clothes using a disguise kit to make herself look the appropriate bodyguard as part of your ladyship's entourage.
Yeah, there are a couple of things I would like to do because we're just outside of town, and
Yeah,
I
you're.
can go in. And
This is
cover.
still the middle of the night. You're a few miles down coast.
Okay, we're gonna sleep first of all, so
Yeah.
get rid of.
Yep, Deer, Greytail, Evan, you all get a long rest very easily.
Yay!
Everyone else, you do get a long rest as well. That's
Long
fine.
Rest. I will take my long rest. Yes, I will confirm.
Yeah, because we were halfway through it when we got stopped.
Yeah, you were. You're able to get the other half of it. No worries. You
Now
wake
it's time
up.
to manage my spells.
You wake up in the morning. The sun cresting over the horizon, and the ship becoming warm with the heat of the solar rays. Although devoid of about half your crew.
Yeah. Cool. So, just bear with me. I am switching my spells up as well. I pray to One to let me have everything. So,
I was just thinking, I just have a slight technical question for Danny.
Yes.
Are the mimics able to talk to one another?
Kind of, but it's very, very basic because the two small mimics downstairs don't have access to the book nor any other means of like telepathy or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm sure they've got some way for Derek. I mean, if Derek's able to communicate slightly with them to be able to pass them the food and everything and other things, there's some sort of minor way they communicate.
On a very, very basic level, yes.
Okay.
But I mean, you're talking like knocking on, like they'll knock on like Derek's floor and stuff, and like they'll just tap at each other and things like that. It's extremely basic. There's no words or imagery or text passed between each other.
Yeah, but if we were to get Derek, to teach Derek a thing to be able to let them know, like this means danger,
That could
then
work.
they could then, because they have the ability to make noise,
Mm-hmm.
then be able to pass on the information to the people downstairs.
Yeah, I would say that Derek is able to hear the mimics, but the problem is because they don't have access to the book upstairs, they can't hear.
Yeah.
They can't read what he says. So the mimics, if they speak, can speak to Derek, but he
Yeah,
can't really
it's-
respond back very well.
Yeah,
But yeah.
That's the main thing, is if we teach Derek in some way to be able to, like, okay, if you tap Damascus, like, two very quick, like, little knocks or jolts or something, he knows that means there's danger upstairs, alert everyone.
Yeah, I could say
And then
that's possible.
Between the two of them, they can then make noise and other things to alert everyone.
Yeah, so like get the piano to play or Damascus to fucking just scream or some shit, yeah. Yeah.
How come those two can speak though and the Derek can't?
Because Derek wasn't taught to speak.
Ah.
And
There's a multitude of possible reasons. I don't think any of you have asked.
Uma,
Yeah.
what spells do you have?
Definitely.
detect magic and identify.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've got,
don't
obviously,
think we're using any other spells, so
I've got like Firebolt and Mending as my cantrips. Alarm, Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Extreme Retreat, Grease, Identify, Shield, Wonder Wave. And they've got like Scorching Ray and Shatter on the higher ones.
that's what I wanted. Shatter.
That'll do. That'll do.
Ooh.
nicely.
That
Yeah,
yeah,
Shatter.
yeah.
Because it is basically Shatter does extra damage on
Non-magical
constructs. I assume it would
constructs.
work in the same way on something that's been built.
It's still a construct. It's been constructed.
It destroys non-magical items if they're not being held in that, like, certain things when they're being used. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You do shatter on the on that area. I hold person. Persephone comes up and pushes her in. She's in there. Sorted.
Nice.
Boom.
Boom.
Don't
I
you
knew there
stop.
was something. I was like thinking, oh, I could ask the bard, and I was like, but isn't it on the spell list for? And Boomer likes going boom. I'm sure he'd have it.
I think, let me serves me correct. Yeah, it's already it's a prepared one as well. So we always have that prepared.
Cool, Boomer.
Boom.
You found your way of getting in. Cool. Okay, so yeah, there are a few things I'd like to do, Danny, if that's okay.
By all means, let me know. You have 3 days.
Cool. When we're in town, can I just get like a runner or something? Like a young person that would, noble people usually would go and do running activities.
Yep.
Send them
Basically,
everything.
here's the money.
Yeah.
Here's the locations. Go get these, and here's for doing it.
Essentially, giving him a bit extra than what. Not too much that it seems obvious that I'm trying to spit, but just enough that he's not going to really care. I'm tipping him, essentially.
I would
That's
say,
it.
yeah, you're probably able to find a young lad, probably 13, 14 or so, that'd be more than happy to do it.
So hireling basically an unskilled one.
Yeah.
So,
So-
again, if you're buying his silence as well, that's probably what, about $1 a day.
For a kid of that age, yeah, that's plenty.
I'd say an
Okay.
unskilled hireling's about 2 copper a day.
Yeah, I'd say
Buying his silence
a
with a
silver
silver.
a day is going to be plenty to be like, oh yeah, for sure. I won't tell no one.
Brilliant. I need you to, using these measurements, and I would have got measurements from both Persephone and Boomer.
Ooh.
And I want to get them essentially decked out in what a noble person's, because I know that Persephone is altering her clothing, but we've got to sell this a little bit, so I will pay to have us bought new outfits, essentially, for this. I'm guessing
New
it took
armor
me
and stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I've got to look like a noble, and because I used to be one, I pretty much know what I'm looking for, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
so
will
you can
give
be specific.
specific instructions.
That's the fashion sense.
I would say it's going to be a bit more than the fine clothes in the book, because you're literally aiming for the tippy tip. I would say
Oh, yeah.
if we go for 25 gold a set, that'll be enough to get you anything that you want to visually describe and deem in for the
So-
lads and you. And
Yeah, so for Persephone, because she's meant to be a bodyguard, and also I want to try and hide as much of her as possible, if that makes sense. So that her blue skin isn't immediately obvious, but it's not like, she looks,
Yeah.
oh, that's a sneaky person.
Yeah.
So I will basically request, essentially, best way of explaining it is kind of like a jumpsuit over,
you don't have to.
something that looks like it's going to be able to move in, if that makes sense.
You don't have
And
to do the
it-
descriptions now. We can go through those next session.
Like,
Essentially, I'll give you the time to make up some nice descriptions of like the clothes, because like this because I could imagine like this little little cluster of like the posh fancy shit would be a cool art piece. So get some nice descriptions in.
will do, yeah. Because I know exactly what I want to do. I want it to be a little bit floaty and gauzy and everything, and I know what Boomer's going to be in.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I'm not going to put you in like a page boy outfit. It's going to be nice, and I know what Cass is going to be wearing. But yeah, I'll get those nice things for you.
We'll go through that next
and
session.
mask for all three of us, which I will also include in the descriptions.
Mhm.
So if I say 90 gold for the whole lot of it, would that be enough?
Yeah, I was going to say 25 a person, but if you want to chuck the extra in, they could probably like get it.
Speed it up.
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
And the masks and
Take-
everything.
You could say we get the mask in there as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing for the whole 90, covering everything. If that
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
plenty.
Fresh job,
Have you-
masks, outfits. I'm also going to get the runner, so that's going to be at the beginning as well. I can go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk to Boomer. I'm going to ask, but I need you to modify my armor.
Your what?
Armor.
Armor?
My armor. Yeah. I'm wearing scale mail at the moment, but it's a little backed up. I mean, I don't actually take that much damage in my combat fights. I just need it to look. So the idea of what I'm going to be wearing is, you know, when you see those fancy dresses and it's like incorporating armor and like a dress to make it really pretty. That's what I want.
You want it so your armor is disguised enough
Looks
to the
like
point
my-
that it looks like it's meant to be there, rather than why is that noblewoman wearing armor?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures of what I'm thinking of. I've got them all on Pinterest where it's like, you know, it's going to be part of the ensemble
Okay.
kind of deal.
So it looks like
I think
it's
I've
a
given
scaled
I
pattern,
think I've given Rose her dream. Like I've literally give her 3 PCs and play dress up.
Okay, yeah. So
You
it's
have no idea.
scale pattern. It looks like a scale pattern dress, but in fact, actually, you just pull off the loose bits of cloth, and actually, oh, look, it's armor.
I will send everybody the pictures in like the group thread of what I'm thinking for each person, so
Sounds
you get
good.
a good idea.
That's
And
nice.
then people can input if you don't like it.
Okay.
I'm also going to I'm going to request that the runner goes. No, I'm not going to ask them to do that. I am going to send a message to our bard friend.
Mella.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Essentially, it would be. It's not at where we've been camping. It's going to be outside of the city, and I'm basically going to say you need to go 10 minutes east, a little bit north. When you see this tree, take a left, kind of deal. We need your help, please.
And you're going to convey that much detail in sending.
It's only by words. If I literally said you walk 10 minutes outside of town.
Okay.
Walk 10 minutes outside of town. Look for big tree with X. I'll create an X in it.
Okay. You don't have to actually.
Head
do that.
north.
I just wanted to make sure that you'd considered it. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. I know that she would have kept it short and sweet, and tried to give as much information as possible to get her to where we need to go. If that doesn't work, I'll go back up anyway.
Look for the massive wood. Yes, Mackie. Look for the massive wood.
Woody.
Oh.
The response you'd get back is certainly. I will try to meet you as soon as I am able. I hope you're
Oh, and
safe.
then there was tell no one. Like the last 3 words, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Last 4 words.
I hope you are keeping safe. I will try to be there when I can. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm imagining this is all on day 1, and then she'll probably meet you on like day 2.
Also on day 1, I'm going to talk to the 2 others when I return, and I'm going to start creating a story. I'm going to create the noblewoman character and what their names are, essentially.
I don't know what the exact
Give them
cost is off the top of my head, but there is like a sewing rumours thing in the player's handbook. I think it's like 2 gold or something a day.
It's not. We're not sewing a rumour. We're essentially going to be nobles from another.
Yeah, but you're
continent.
sewing the rumour of this noblewoman that's coming. That's how I'm going to kind of play it.
That takes weeks and weeks if you look at the sewing rumours.
We'll
We
figure
don't
it
have
out.
that time.
It's fine.
Yeah. But I get what you mean. This is more we're creating. So, like in the Shepperton background, you can create a persona. We're just going to basically talk to each other, drill it into our heads. This is who we are. This is what we're here to do. Kind of deal.
No, that's fine.
Keep things minimal. Stick to these points. I'm sure Persephone will be really good at that. Not revealing any more information and circling around the same point over and over again to explain herself.
Okay. So on the second day, because I'm gonna do all you
Sorry,
three.
that was a little sassy.
I'm not gonna go into the detail of the prep for you guys, and I'm gonna do the same with the prison people in a minute.
I would say you.
We'll do it like
3
all
and,
this,
like,
all that.
I'd say you 3 and Danny
Because-
probably need to have a chat over the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
just to decide.
Oh god, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, because Boone's going to excuse himself, obviously modifying
To
stuff and
craft,
obviously make-
yeah.
So he's pretty much out the equation.
So on the second day, Mela, alone, like Vim won't come with. She will come and meet you, and like I'd imagine you go somewhere that's a little more visually discreet. So I got your message, huh? Are you okay? What is it that's bothering you? I did notice that you or your friends did not stay in the tavern the past few days.
Oh. Something came up. We need your help for one final hurrah, really, for you guys. One last adventure.
What do you mean by this? Specifically, if you don't mind.
We have found ourselves in a spot of trouble that we don't entirely deserve. We need your help to accompany us three to a meeting where we are disguised to free our friends who have been taken. Sorry?
Forgot I
What was that, Michael?
Michael was screaming into what he thought was a muted microphone.
You dumbass.
Wow.
Yep, to me.
So your friends have been taken? Who? Where?
I mean, it was kind of intentional.
Your friends were intentionally taken?
Yes.
Hello, Shaq. Thank you for the raid of 7. I'll say hi to you properly in a minute. So your friends were intentionally taken? Please,
Kind of.
you're going to have to explain this all correctly, because this is seeming a little weird, if you don't mind my saying.
Oh, it's going to be quite weird. I do apologise for this, of course. I don't want to get you in any trouble.
So, what spot of bother did you get into that was undeserved? And how did your friends end up being taken intentionally? And you can see, like, her face is screwed up slightly and she's tad confused, as you would expect.
Are the other two with me?
Did you bring them? Because I know Boom has kept to himself, because he's building.
I would have bought at least Persephone. Persephone?
Yeah,
Persephone.
Persephone, yeah.
Percy.
Persephone.
Essentially, someone attempted to kidnap us. We thankfully were not put to sleep in this attempt, and we need help to get our friends back, because we intentionally let them go in there, which now seems like a really bad idea.
So you willingly allowed your friends to be taken, to break them out? Why didn't you just not let them be taken?
When you put it that way, it sounds stupid.
Stupid.
I mean, it does when you only tell a third of the cocking story.
I know.
Not for the beginning,
Okay,
and go through it.
okay, so we were on the boat, our boat. Me and my friends were. You know, the paladin that spoke to you, my other friends, and this group of individuals attempted to kidnap us. However, I don't think they were expecting for their sleep potion not to work. We encountered them, took care of them very quickly, and then had a bit of an interrogation when we found that they were working for a slavers market within town. Do you know of this?
there's a slavers market here in Colossal Tega.
Yep. Essentially, from what we can understand, is that nobles from all over the world come here and they bet on fights, and then if they like the people that win, they buy them and then take them back.
Cass, I have lived here for many years, multiple centuries. I have not heard or seen such a facility.
Do you not believe me?
No, that is very... It just makes it very concerning that I have lived here for 3 centuries and have not heard anything of such a group.
I do understand, and trust me when I know that this is going to affect you, that it has been going on. I don't know how long, to be quite honest, but this is happening, and we plan to take it down. We are requesting your help because we know that you are experienced adventurers. Essentially, half of us have remained behind to infiltrate from the point of view as we are nobles and entourage who are going to go in and be within the audience, and then the other 3 of our group will be champions in the arena, essentially. So they are going to be the ones that are going to be slaves.
And what part do you wish I or Vim plays in this?
We would like for you to be part of my entourage. We don't need for you to take an active role on the front lines, but if you could support us in some way, it would be really appreciated.
Just gonna roll 1 sec.
Is it okay?
I can't speak for Vim. I will have to speak to him myself, but I will at least accompany you and help as much as I can, but I need to understand and see this for myself.
I understand. And I can assure you that this favour, if you need one in the future, I can't talk for the others, but I can talk for myself, and no great deed goes without payment.
We will see if I'm even still in Brial to call upon this favour, no?
Oh yes, you plan to return home, correct?
Judging by Vim, maybe in the next 6 years, 10 years, maybe?
Hopefully we meet again before that point.
Right. And she'll, like, do some hand gesturing and you'll... Vim, I need to have a word with you when we get back, please. It's complicated. And you'll watch as she kind of listens for a moment. Right. I need to go back.
Can you keep this on the down low? I'm sure you understand.
Yes,
Why?
of course. I will be as quiet as I can.
Yes. If we can meet here again at this point, and I'll give her the time and details of when we need to go over and everything, so we can run through backstories, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I need to get a couple of things ready myself. I'll be here. Hopefully with Vim. If not, it'll be just me.
I have told her it's a masquerade ball, right?
I would assume that's been told.
Yeah, I'll go through all the details.
Yeah,
I'll go through the moment stuff.
I would have assumed that was mentioned.
I'm sorry, I was trying to find the best way of doing it. I know that... I'm not quite sure what Michael said, but I know it wasn't happy.
Yeah, but we're gonna flip to Prison Gang in a sec, but I want to say thank you to Shaq for raiding with the 7. Like I said, apologies I can't talk too much to chat when I do D&D, because I like to I don't want to interrupt the players and their flow in the roleplay and the story. Thank you, fellow sheep. You're beautiful, man. I know it's a pain in the ass for you to catch me when I'm live, and it sucks. But, yeah. No, I'm glad you know, Shaq. I'd like to re-say it because it sometimes sucks when people come in and say hi and I'm typing responses or I'm mouthing stuff, but, you know. And Mackie, thank you. I'm glad you like my slight Frenchy twinge voice. Like, I do loads, like, you know. I've even offered people to do sound alerts. So Mackie, if you want some sound alerts on your channel, no, you let me know. We really needed the change of pace. My heart needed a rest. Yeah, no, that's fine, Shaq. You'll have to DM me, and I'll DM you later, and we'll have a chat. See how you got on with your stream and stuff. But with the prison gang, you groggily get woken up at God knows when, and you see Unri, like, has jostled you all awake. I saw you're finally awake. No, fuck, no, that's his actual accent. No. So, you're finally awake then, huh? Like, oh yeah, like, gives up his real voice to everyone, like, shit! He has two voices, that was his actual voice. No, this is his, like, in character voice. So, you're finally awake then, huh? Took you all long enough?
Spit at him. Have a quick look around. Is it just him, or is it...
There are a couple of guards stationed as you kind of wake up. He's woken you up, and... Wait, he had a French accent? Fuck off. Fuck off, Cass. But, yeah. You can see that there is about 3 or 4 guards, and you're all in separate cages. Right. You're going to rest. You're going to eat. You're going to drink. Or we will make you. Then, you're going to see our proprietors. And hopefully make us all a pretty penny. That sound good? And don't worry.
Can we find a nice column?
I'll be finding the rest of your friends too. Those bastards got away. So, and he'll bang on the cage that Greytail's in. Keep your liquids. You'll need them. And he will...
Are we bound?
No, you're free, but you're still in armor if you have it. Obviously, Greytail, you don't. But you have no items, no weapons.
I will go for like a grab, but kind of I am deliberately missing.
Yeah. And as you do, he'll side glance you, but not pay any notice, like purposely, and he will go out and like it's like, you know, saloon doors where they like rock and then go back. And you can see that there's probably another half dozen or so people in here with you that are not you three. And you can see heavily armed guards. And is there anything you guys wish to do? As you would be fed, you would be watered. And surprisingly, you're fed extremely nice food. Like, it's not shit rations or prison grub. Like, this is, you're being fed like pretty decent meals, actually. Probably better than you've been ordering in the taverns and stuff in towns. And like this meek and mild person, like, looks like an elderly woman, probably 60s or so, comes around and goes, "Oh, you've got to eat up. Got to gain your strength, haven't you? Here, meat for the boys, and fruits for the ladies."
Who else is in here? Are there other cells and people?
Yes, there are. And essentially, you're in 5x5 cages, give or take, separate and about a foot apart from each other. You can see a myriad, mostly human, all of mid-20s and older. You also spot a gnome, as well as... where's my notes? A half-orc. Of a fairly split mix, male-female, in the prisoner.
I will eat up.
Yeah.
guessing during the next day, another group is brought in.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what you can see is there was probably about 6 of you. Then add you 3, so that's 9. Then another 2 come in afterwards. And these are 2 more humans, both male. Look very similar, actually. Could pass as brothers. They were both unconscious when they get put in, and yeah, you're all like 3 hots and a sort of cot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, sort of, because you know it's pretty shit.
So we get so we're getting 5-star quality food, but we're getting
Bad shit.
half a star beds at best.
Yeah. You know, they've got to keep some semblance of security. They can't afford you like a fucking hotel room, but you know, at least the food you're eating is pretty fucking nice. And it's not even stingy neither. It's pretty sizable.
Yeah, they want us to have our energy.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get any wine with this? It seems like this is going to be a last meal for a few of them.
Don't worry, lad. Where are you going? You'll get plenty of wine if you do well.
Do well at what exactly? We haven't exactly been told what it is.
Survive.
Oh,
Don't die.
that
I was doing that before I was brought here.
Well, then you'll be fine, won't you?
What exactly are we fighting against? Them?
Depends how we get on. Maybe. Or maybe I'll stick all of you in against some of the nasties we've got in the back.
Seems fair. They might have a chance then. Well, you said you wanted a show.
Oh, aye. But, you know, save it for the people who are actually going to pay.
I want to be, but I don't want to fight. I'm going at least a decent one. Don't you? This is towards like the rest of the group at this point.
As into Grey and Deer.
Well, Grey Deer and the rest of the people around.
Mhm.
I'm not talking quietly to one of the guards. I am projecting my voice to one of them that stood on the other side of the room, whoever decided to talk. Well, what about the rest of you, eh? Want to put on a good fight?
I don't know why I'm here. I just want to... Can you just let us out, please? You'll get let out when you're ready to fight, dear. Now shut the fuck up and eat your food. Now. Oh no. And for the majority, stay relatively quiet. It's kind of like some of them want to say something, but then kind of don't.
I'd say I want to kind of go like whenever we get some of the more lax or like don't give a shit guards.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to try and kind of talk to the other prisoners and just like, okay, so what's your abilities that would have got their attention? You know, you powerful fighter, or you look strong, quick, nimble. Basically, try and ascertain what everybody's abilities
what they're like. Yeah.
Yeah.
The two lads that come in after you guys would explain that they're like a performance act where they're essentially body, like in Circus where you had the strong man.
Yeah.
Well, this is a strongman duo act essentially.
Yeah.
And they'd travelled to a number of different towns performing, and they stayed in Costa Teca for a couple days, and they woke up in here. The other group, the 6, were another party, adventuring party the same as you, but seemingly from the way they speak, a bit less experienced, but all present various intriguing abilities. There's a couple that have claim that they are handy with a bow. One has some archaic abilities of some sort, and then the couple are more frontline, like warriors, fighters.
Okay.
So they're like a fairly
Mixed group, but
yeah.
handy.
Yeah, and the thing is, not all of them, they weren't all one party. There were actually two. It was a 4 and a 2, but were taken together. The arcane user and one of the warriors was the 2, and then essentially the ranger, the rogue, the fighter, and the other caster was in a party of 4.
Okay. So I will try my best to try and, if they are all one thing, try and build a bit of team unity between the lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Unity in a shit situation. Where have I seen that before? Oh yeah, it was episode fucking 1 of this campaign.
Essentially that, but I'm trying to just guide them towards doing that. Like you can work to, just convince them to, like, to know each other a little bit, learn to do that, because either we're all going to be fighting together, or you lot are going to be one group, we're going to be another, and them by themselves, by the sound of it.
Roll a persuasion check.
Or
a performance, up to you.
Probably be a persuasion check. Do I get some advantage for doing it over a course of time, or because I'm taking time to build?
No, but I'll affect the DC accordingly.
I'm not trying to do it in.
I'll make the DC lower because you're doing it like not instantly. You're not doing an instant rousing speech. You're trying to sow the seeds of some resistance and unity.
It's not even so much resistance. I'm not arranging a prison break.
No. Resistance as in, like, stirring them up, get them prepared.
If they do end up going out there and having to fight anything out there, they're not going to be falling over on each other. They're going to know to have each other's backs.
Okay.
I'm basically quick building a party.
They seem receptive and understanding, and they do spend some time whispering amongst each other when they can. And yeah, you feel like there's some sort of the enemy of my the friend of my, I forget the saying.
An enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That one. Words.
So I kind of also.
I nearly said the enemy of my enemy is my enemy.
Well, yeah, but
it's still my enemy.
I'd say that's something I did read today. Something like, I can't remember what it was from, but it was the enemy of my enemy is my enemy's enemy. That's nothing more.
But yeah.
So
yeah, you spend
any guards start giving me kind of looks, it's just I kind of give them this look of I'm building. I kind of like I'm making them better so they might last longer.
The guards, for the most part, are fairly, like... It's unusual. Given the fact that you're in, and quote marks, prison, they're extremely lax. And whether this is routine, or it's cockiness because they think they can handle you, or not giving a shit, you don't know. But yeah, they're extremely lax, and they allow you to freely talk amongst each other. And things like that, not a problem.
Yeah, like I say, the entire time I'm doing this, if any guard does try and question what I'm doing, I kind of make it obvious what I'm doing is helping them have a better showing out of these people. Okay.
But the third day does come. And people have been prepared. Persephone, you have been crafting and tinkering with your clothing. You have been preparing yourself as best as you can. Boomer, you would have and are crafting throughout the 3 days and preparing yourself, getting ingredients done through the runner that Cass is kindly using to save you guys going into town a few miles down, and this is all happening a few miles down shore on the Derrick.
On the Derrick.
Prison folk. You've been fed 3 square meals, hots and a cot. On the 3rd day, you're not fed a breakfast, as they want you to not vomit on the duty. And we're going to leave the session there, as you guys know fight day is ahead. Cass, you've got to go and possibly collect Mela and Vim, or just Mela, and any other final preparations to be made. We will call the session there. And the next session of this will be on the 21st of August. Same start time as always.
Jeez, that's a while.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I know. It feels like forever.
I mean, we are the 7th, so.
This episode will be on the YouTubes Monday at midday UK time. This is all, bear in mind. So for anyone who wants to have it ready to watch, rewatch, whatever, if you come in part way, like I know people from Shack's Raid, Mackie, anyone else, you're more than welcome to. I appreciate everyone that's been coming and saying hi and watching and listening. Like I said, I always apologise that I don't talk too much to you guys when it's D&D, but for those that know D&D, it's understandable because, you know, this is a story, and this is like my mate's story that I've been running for them for the better part of a year and a bit, so I like to not interrupt as much as I can. But in terms of streams, I'm back tomorrow with a sponsored stream. I've got some beta access to Back 4 Blood, and it's a lovely game that I've got pre-ordered and cannot wait to get my hands on. So please come back tomorrow, 6:30 UK time. We are gonna play some Back 4 Blood for some first impressions on the beta, and I cannot wait. I really can't. Like, I so want to get my hands on it. Like, you don't understand. I've had this thing since Friday. I've been dying to play it. I have held the temptation. I have held the temptation. And what I am going to do, I don't normally on D&D nights, but I am going to end on a raid, because I can see a good friend of mine and stream team member Naughty Nelly is only on one view, and we have plenty of people to go and say hi with. So, I'm going to end the recording.